This is 5 Live Sport with Mark Chapman.
Morning, welcome to 5 Live Sport on what is a very busy day of sport. Up until 1 o'clock, really, will be dominated by the Women's World Cup. We're going to head to Stadium Australia. Vicky Sparks and the former England goalkeeper Karen Barsley are there for us. And as people may have heard, Vicky, during Nikki Campbell's show earlier, there is no Sam Kerr for the hosts.
No, and it has dampened the atmosphere at this fantastic stadium. It was the centrepiece of the Sydney Olympics back in 2000. It holds over 80,000. But as I look now at what will be a sellout crowd, the seats are just filling up, and I can see a few green and gold Matilda's flags waving, and now they are cheered as they come out onto the pitch. But the flags were waving rather forlornly because, as you say, no Sam Kerr for Australia, and it is impossible to overstate how devastating that news will be for the co-hosts who are hoping to go so deep into this tournament. She's picked up a calf injury in training yesterday, the Chelsea striker. She will miss this match. She will also miss the next game against Nigeria. So Manchester City's Mary Fowler, who is in great form, comes in up top. But what an opportunity this could be for the Republic of Ireland now, making their major tournament debut. The first time their women's side have played at an event like this. They are the underdogs still against Australia. Australia are not just a one-woman team, but when they looked at that team sheet, and it was a surprise to everyone, Sam Kerr did the pre-match matchday -1 press conference yesterday. We all thought she was going to play. She's not, and the Republic of Ireland, positively on their side in terms of injuries, have shrugged off their injury concerns. Their captain Katie McCabe, their key midfielder Denise O'Sullivan, both fit to start. But that Kerr news will reverberate around Australia and around this tournament. What a boost it is for the Republic of Ireland, though.
Well, it is, Karen, but also, as Vicky has just said, they're not a one-woman team.
No, they're absolutely not. I mean, yeah, I think Ireland will absolutely be bolstered by the fact that, Sam Kerr isn't playing tonight. But you're absolutely right. Australia is absolutely stacked, to be fair. Really well balanced, got lots of experience, but lots of youthful enthusiasm, and they are in great form heading into this game tonight as well.
And we've mentioned, it will dampen the hopes of the host nation, I suppose. Although I have to say, coming through the radio, the atmosphere sounds great, and this is going to be a test for those Republic of Ireland players in front of 82,000. Karen.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think when the Irish came out, I think the cheer was just as loud as it was for the Australians as well. And I think at this point, I was also expecting, the stadium to be a bit more full. So I was a bit surprised. But, if I look down in front of me, I can see quite a few green shirts down here, a few Irish flags. And yeah, the atmosphere is great. It takes me back.
Do you think, both of you, I mean, obviously this news is only broken in the last hour or so, but is this now going to be something that dominates the Australian side of things? Because, all right, we're saying ruled out for the first two games, but if it's a calf injury that puts her out for two, it's going to now be debated, well, is it going to be two? Could it be more than that? What about when they get to the knockout stages? It's not going to go away, is it?
That is exactly what Karen and I said off air before we came on air, Mark, because basically what Australia have said is that she'll be unavailable for the next two matches. The medical team will then reassess her following the second game against Nigeria. Now, what they're very deliberately not saying is whether she'll be available for what is going to be a huge game against Canada. Australia and Canada, who are the reigning Olympic gold medalists, and in the Women's Olympics, that is a huge tournament. The men's is an underage tournament, not so with the women. They take it as seriously as they take the World Cup, so that's no mean feat to come into this as Olympic gold medalists for Canada. Australia and Canada are the two big favourites to go through from this group. And a reminder as well, huge interest for England and the Lionesses here, because the winners of England's group will play the runners-up in this group and vice versa. So very interesting. And as you say, I mean, they're already saying it's going to rule her out of two games. You would normally just say she's out of this game and we'll reassess. But I think it seems as though potentially they don't want to give any comment ahead of the Canada game, which is going to be absolutely crucial. It's enough of a blow for Australia, and just the feeling amongst the nation that she's out for this one if they kind of insinuate, well, she's probably going to miss Canada as well. We'll have to wait and see. You know, that's the information that we've been given. But what luck to pick that up on the eve of the tournament. I mean, it's just football, isn't it?
Karen?
Yeah, I think the shenanigans are about to ensue, to be honest. I think we've seen, you know, some mental scenes over it in Eden Park in New Zealand with that opening game as well. You know, missed penalty, 9 minutes, I think, added on. VAR's introduction as well. So I think, you know, this certainly is following that narrative already. But, you know, back in the 2019 World Cup as well, I think I was asked to go to the press conference, and I knew that I wasn't going to be playing the next day. So I think, you know, these are just little insights, you know, into.
And you spent the whole time just lying through your teeth, did you?
Excuse me, Mark. I did not lie. I'll have you know. Thank you very much. I wish I could have told everyone what was really going on.
It must be something about Australians and calf injuries at the moment. Sam Kerr in the Women's World Cup, Nathan Lyon in the Men's Ashes. Let's turn our attention to the Republic of Ireland side of things. Here's their goalkeeper, Courtney Brosnan, on getting to your first World Cup and facing the hosts in your first match.
This is something we've dreamed of, and then there's the added bonus that you're playing the host nation, that the crowd's so big, that this is our first World Cup. So I think it all is building up to be such a special occasion. We do love that, like, underdogness. I think that's part of being Irish, that you love that challenge and stepping up and obviously facing a big dog or something like that and showing what you're capable of. So I think obviously, listen, we all want to take part in the World Cup, but as you said, we're not just here to take part. Obviously, this is something we've been working for years and years and years. So you want to be as prepared as you can and do the best that you can. So I think, we're doing everything we can to put ourselves in the best position to get results and everything.
And there's a huge Irish community over here. We know that. We can see them in and around the hotel. Yeah. We see them on the streets. What kind of vibe have you been getting off them, the messages?
Yeah, I think it's been amazing, and I think that's what the best part about being Irish is that you run into Irish people everywhere you go. Obviously, I know that growing up in the States, and I've seen that in Liverpool all the time as well. So I think it's amazing that that doesn't change here. And I think, we've been on the street going for coffees, and you hear an accent and you say, oh, they're from home or whatever. So I think it's really cool to obviously see that camaraderie and obviously see that the country's behind us. The people in Ireland are behind us, but obviously the Irish here are behind us as well.
And lastly, the feeling when you walk out, as you're walking onto the pitch?
Yeah, I don't know. It's hard to put into words. I feel like just goosebumps, and I think it's everything you've always worked for and dreamed of. So I think it'll be a really, really special moment for us as a team to be able to walk out there and sing the national anthem in front of that crowd, and I think something that we won't take for granted.
Courtney Brosnan with Juliet Farrington. What are their chances in this group as a whole, Karen, bearing in mind, you know, how Vicky spoke about both Australia and Canada?
Yeah, I think the Canadians are going to pose a particularly sticky problem, I think, for the entire group. But it's a physical group. The Nigerians are, you know, known for their speed, for the physicality, their tenacity, and obviously the Canadians are so. How do I even explain it? You know, they just find a way to win, full of like great team camaraderie and spirit. So it's not just the technical ability, it's the togetherness of the team that's also really, really difficult. So that adds a whole nother dynamic to this group. But yeah, I do think now, does that change the narrative a little bit? Does Ireland kind of come out maybe a little bit slower out of the blocks than perhaps they did in the previous game against France, and, you know, kind of like just manage the tempo, you know? So really, like, the group is fascinating. I think this might potentially change the outcome in terms of maybe if, I don't know, Ireland sneak a point, you know, with a draw, opening game, does that change momentum for Australia going through it? I think it could open the door for Nigeria or Canada to top the group.
Karen, Vicky, for the moment, thank you. Back with the two of them for full commentary of Australia against the Republic of Ireland, which is a 11 a.m. kickoff our time here in the UK. Earlier, New Zealand, who are the joint hosts, beat Norway by 1-0. Let's head back to Stadium Australia. Vicky Sparks and Karen Bardsley are there for us. Teams are in the tunnel just before they come out. Karen, how would you describe the atmosphere at the moment?
Oh, you know what? I really, really love that cultural welcome. I think that was pretty amazing. A line that stayed with me was, "Leave nothing but goodness," and I think that describes the state of women's football right now in terms of what myself as an ex-player wants it to become, and how it feels in this stadium at the minute. So I think the energy is rising, the teams are in the tunnel, and I cannot wait for this game to kick off.
No, very special venue this. Kathy Freeman winning gold at the 2000 Olympics. The Australian team have met up with her in the build-up to this, but as you've heard from just that talking to Jim, and if you've been listening to us for the last 50 minutes or so, no Sam Kerr for the Australians today because of a calf injury that will not only rule her out of this game, but the second group game as well. We are ready for the teams to come out. So at the Women's World Cup, where New Zealand have already beaten Norway today on the opening day, Australia against the Republic of Ireland in front of a crowd of 80,000 plus. Here are Karen Bardsley and Vicky Sparks.
Thank you, Mark. Welcome everyone to Sydney, to a sold-out stadium, Australia. This gigantic ground holds over 80,000. It was the heartbeat of the Sydney Olympics back in 2000, and 23 years on, it beats for Australia once again. The co-hosts have hopes of going deep into this tournament, but tonight they will have to show they can win without their injured star, Sam Kerr. So what a chance, Karen Bardsley. What a moment this could be for the Republic of Ireland, making their major tournament bow, if only they can stretch out their hands and seize it.
Oh, it's right there, the grasp. Yeah, it's at their fingertips, really. And you think, with news like that, I think, does it bolster Ireland's confidence? I was thinking about this when I heard the news. Actually, they would have prepared the entire time to face the likes of Sam Kerr. Now, how did they react to that? I think it'll be really, really interesting to see what it's like in the central areas.
Here we go then. The teams are about to take to the pitch here at Stadium Australia. The slogan of this tournament will greet them as they walk out: beyond greatness. And that is what Australia are hoping for. They've never won the World Cup. They're amongst the favourites. They're not the favourites, but they will hope to prove that they are not to be considered as just also-rans. Listen to the noise here in Sydney as Australia walk out, led by their captain on the night in the absence of Sam Kerr, Arsenal's Steph Catley. And what a moment for Katie McCabe as well, her Arsenal teammate, leading out the Republic of Ireland. She says this will be a moment she will never forget. Savour it, Katie. I'm sure those who are following the girls in green, as we look down to our right, we can see the Ireland shirts and the Ireland flags dotted in amongst the green and gold of Australia as both sets of players line up, their national flags behind them for the national anthems. From the Irish fans in the stadium, and now for Australia. Australia. Sydney's up for this. This stadium's up for this. Australia are up for this as the co-hosts of this Women's World Cup. And so much, Karen. I mean, we spoke about it in the build-up, but actually being here in this stadium, so much for the Republic of Ireland tonight is about how they handle this atmosphere. Over 80,000 fans, and yes, some of them are Irish. Yes, they will make their voices heard, but they'll have a job to do so against this raucous Australian home crowd.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, it takes me back to 2015 when we played Canada in the quarterfinal of the World Cup. And the noise, you could feel it reverberating in your rib cage, in your chest, and I'd never felt anything like it. And I think remembering, the Irish are going to be feeling that for the first time. And how do they communicate with each other? Have they discussed that? Do they understand that they're not going to be able to hear each other? Have they gone through what that could feel like and how to solve those problems on the pitch? Just another addition to one of the many firsts, the things that they're going to have to experience and learn from tonight. But yeah, it's going to be difficult. This Australia team, despite not having Sam Kerr, is still stacked with some fantastic players. But, I do think the Irish are going to put up a fantastic fight tonight.
Well, both teams breaking away from their pre-match photos as the national flags are folded away. And as Karen's already mentioned, there has been a real celebration of Indigenous culture already. We've had the cultural welcome, which involved First Nations dancers. And as well as the Australia flag away to our left, we have two Indigenous flags as well of Australia. The blue Torres Strait Islander flag, which has two horizontal columns of green with blue and a white arch and a star in the centre, and the Australian Aboriginal flag as well, the strip of black beneath it, the strip of red, and the yellow circle in the middle, which represents the sun. So Australia without Sam Kerr, their star, their captain, their icon. The Chelsea striker has picked up a calf injury in training just yesterday. She will miss this match. She will miss the next game against Nigeria as well. And then they will assess her ahead of what could be a huge showdown between the two sides that are favourites going into this group to progress. Australia, one of them. Canada, the reigning Olympic champions, the other. In terms of the team news, that means just one change from the side that very impressively beat France in their last friendly on Friday. France ranked 5th in the world to Australia's 10th. Manchester City's Mary Fowler comes in up top. And Karen, she's in brilliant form at the moment.
Oh yeah, she absolutely is. It's been a real pleasure to watch her in WSL for Manchester City. I think she didn't get maybe as much game time as she would have liked, but given her age and the exposure to those minutes to make sure that she's protected, so she can perform on stages like this is just fantastic.
Well, Ireland have shrugged off their injury woes. Captain Katie McCabe and key midfielder Denise O'Sullivan both fit to start. That's huge for Ireland. So they are unchanged from their final friendly, which was also against France. They lost 3-0. Did play behind closed doors friendly against Colombia. 20 minutes of it though. It became overly physical and they had to abandon it. So the players gathering now around the centre circle before kick-off, as there was at Eden Park in Auckland. There will be a moment of silence in memory of the two people who lost their lives in the shooting in Auckland overnight. New Zealand, of course, co-hosts with Australia for this Women's World Cup.
Which occurred this morning in Auckland. Tamakai, Makaurau, Aotearoa, New Zealand. Our thoughts and prayers are with those who have been injured in this tragic incident and the police and first responders. In order to show our solidarity with the people of Aotearoa, New Zealand, we kindly ask everyone to observe a moment's silence.
Thoughts very much with those who have been affected by that shooting in Auckland overnight as the players break away from the centre circle. So much sport here for you on 5 Live this morning. We've got the golf, we've got the football, and we've got the cricket, and there's been a wicket. Ellie Oldroyd.
Yes, very first ball of the day. Pat Cummins is out just driving one to Ben Stokes at cover point off the bowling of Jimmy Anderson. He was out for one, Pat Cummins, 299 for 9. The clock hadn't even ticked around to 11 o'clock on the Jimmy Anderson end, but Australia have lost their first wicket of the day, 299 for 9.
Thanks, Ellie. Ball by ball coverage continues over on 5 Live Sports Extra, and we are underway here at Stadium Australia. Australia, the co-hosts of this Women's World Cup, hoping to go deep into this tournament. The Republic of Ireland making their major tournament bow. What a moment of history this is for them, as Australia in possession, playing from left to right just inside the Republic of Ireland half. Australia in the golden shirts, the dark green shorts and the white socks. Ireland in the green shirts, the white shorts and the green socks, as Australia play the ball back into their own half. And huge interest, of course, Karen, in this match for Lionesses fans as well, because the winners of this group will play the runners-up in England's group and vice versa, as Ireland win a throw deep in their own territory.
Yeah, that's right. You know, obviously England will have their eyes all over this, anticipating who they're going to play next. We all know exactly what Serena Wiegman's like, and she'll be thinking, yeah, okay, we've got important games, but we really need to make sure that we understand who we might face.
So Ireland in possession over on the far side, Australia with the interception. Healing for the throw is their captain on the night, Steph Catley, hugely experienced Australian and Arsenal player, taking the armband in the absence of the injured Sam Kerr. Ireland send the ball forward over the halfway line. Australia gets there first with Alana Kennedy. We'll try and work the ball up to halfway, played forward by Ireland, who win the throw once more, and we have time to take you through the teams. In goal for Australia, Mackenzie Arnold of West Ham, just had a great season with them. The back four of Ellie Carpenter, Claire Hunt, Alana Kennedy of Manchester City, and Steph Catley of Arsenal. Ahead of them, it's Hayley Raso, who's just left Manchester City and joined Real Madrid, Kyra Cooney-Cross, Katrina Gorry and Courtney Vine, with Mary Fowler of Manchester City, Kerr's replacement, and Arsenal's Caitlin Ford up top as Ireland win the ball on halfway. Australia snatch it, play it forwards, but they have committed the foul, and it will be a free kick to Ireland on the halfway line, given by our Brazilian referee Adina Alves. We do have all the accoutrements that we had at the Men's World Cup at this Women's World Cup. So VAR, goal line technology, semi-automated offside. Let's hope it's a relatively technology-free opener, shall we say, as Ireland play the ball forward over the top into the Australia penalty area. But Mackenzie Arnold comes out and gathers easily. So Ireland with Brosnan of Everton in goal, Courtney Brosnan. The back five of Heather Payne, Niamh Fahey, the Liverpool captain, Louise Quinn, the Birmingham skipper, Megan Connolly, who's just left Brighton, and Katie McCabe of Arsenal. Ahead of them, Sinead Farrelly, Denise O'Sullivan, Lucia Littlejohn, who's just departed Aston Villa, and Marissa Shiva with Kira Carusa, London City Lionesses in the Women's Championship up front. Australia dominating possession so far, 3 minutes in, goalless here on BBC Radio 5 Live as they come forward with Gorry, sidesteps a couple of challenges, including that of McCabe. Incisive pass out to the left-hand side, driven ball in, is blocked away well by Heather Payne for Ireland, and Australia will win the throw deep in Irish territory. Karen Bardsley.
It's a great start. It's a great start from Gorry as well. She looks like she's really confident, wants to get on the ball, and she's constantly spreading the play. You can see that Australia have taken a really compact position to try and force the play, what looks like down the Irish right.
And they're in possession once again, just inside their own half, Australia. We spoke a lot, Karen, didn't we, in the build-up about how the absence of Sam Kerr would affect Ireland's mentality. How will it affect Australia? You know, does it almost make them more determined as they're into the penalty area, slightly overrun on that far side and cleared away by the Liverpool skipper Niamh Fahey for Ireland, but it's all Australia at the moment.
It really is. It was a great little touch from Courtney Vine. Brought it down really nicely off her left foot, and unfortunately her touch just got away from her. But yeah, great start for Australia.
And they're coming again down the left-hand side, and they win the first corner of the match. And Ireland will have to show their prowess at set pieces. They're dangerous in an attacking sense. They're also usually good at defending them. In fact, the only other time these two sides met was 2 years ago. The Republic of Ireland did win the friendly in Dublin by 3-2. All 3 goals came from set pieces. But Australia have come a long way since then, and they have an early corner here, looking for the breakthrough inside the opening 5 minutes at Stadium Australia. Swing in towards the crowded 6-yard box, and there is Louise Quinn, the tall figure, heading away for Ireland. It is a real strength of theirs, that height at the back, as Australia pick it up once more. Will be collected on this left-hand side by Heather Payne, who intelligently allows the ball to run out of play. And it will be a throw to Ireland midway through their own half.
I think that's going to be key for Ireland, to manage that momentum and kind of make sure you kind of quiet that crowd down when you can, because I think the Irish are going to have an earful all night long.
I think, Karen Bardsley, you could be right. But Katie McCabe, the captain, is perfectly capable of giving anybody an earful herself, and it is she who is preparing to take this throw midway through her own half. On the left-hand side, let's head back to the cricket. Ellie.
For a moment, England was celebrating having bowled Australia out for 300, but Chris Wokes has just been no-balled. Looking at it on the replay, it's pretty marginal. That would have been his 5 for a sharp catch in the slips, but Australia survive 301 for 9.
Thanks very much, Ellie. Commentary over on 5 Live Sports Extra, and we will be keeping you right up to date with events from the first round at the Open as well throughout this commentary here in Sydney, Stadium Australia. Goalless in this Women's World Cup match between Australia and the Republic of Ireland. Good sliding challenge by Katrina Gorry as the ball goes out of play for an Ireland throw just inside the Australia half. She's really developed this partnership in central midfield, Katrina Gorry with Kyra Cooney-Cross. They have started every match in that position for Australia this year, and such an integral part of the way that Australia play.
Yeah, absolutely. I think you hit the nail on the head. It's going to be incredibly important, because they're going to want to go through the middle and then move out to the flanks.
Republic of Ireland trying to make something with that throw down the left-hand side from Katie McCabe, but Kira Carusa, their striker, can't quite reach it. And it's through to Mackenzie Arnold, who takes the ball quickly, plays it out to the left-hand side for Australia. Goalless here on 5 Live. England get their campaign underway against Haiti in Brisbane on Saturday, 10:30. That match kicks off. We have full commentary of every England match live from Australia here for you throughout the Women's World Cup on 5 Live. You can take us with you on 5 Live and BBC Sounds as Ireland win a throw, again deep inside their own territory. They've just stemmed that early Australia pressure, haven't they, Karen?
Yeah, they have. It's smart management from the Irish. I mean, they're keen to put pressure on. You can see Caruso, like looking to kind of press and understand when she needs to, and Denise O'Sullivan's covering some ground, making sure she's getting up to the ball, but if it's not timed correctly, they're going to get exposed.
Lovely little 1-2 between Rasso and Ellie Carpenter of Leon. Ball in from Carpenter, cleared away on the edge of the 6-yard box, and Ireland will try and play it clear, but Denise O'Sullivan misses out, and here come Australia again. Fowler was blocked off on the edge of the penalty area, but our referee Adina Alves was happy with that, and it's through to Courtney Brosnan. That was a beautiful passage of play from Australia.
Yeah, really lovely, but excellent starting position as well from Brosnan to make sure that she's on the front foot to kind of close that down.
Well, she signed a contract extension with Everton last month. Courtney Brosnan was number 1 for the majority of this season with them. Had to win her place back after losing it, but did so. Is very much the undisputed number 1 for the Republic of Ireland. She was one of the many heroines in their playoff victory over Scotland. Saved an early penalty from Caroline Weir that helped to take them to this, their first major tournament, with the absence of Sam Kerr for Australia. That will have buoyed the Irish, who are the underdogs in this match. Their manager Vera Pauw speaking before the tournament, saying we're not here to make up the numbers, we're too good to do that. We have a realistic chance of getting out of the group. If they could take something from Australia here today, that would be absolutely huge for those chances, given that they have Australia in the group and the reigning Olympic champions Canada and the record African champions, 11 times winners of the Women's Africa Cup of Nations, Nigeria. Australia win the ball on halfway. Fowler is dispossessed and will be brought forward by Katie McCabe, such a key player for the Republic of Ireland, and a player that always plays on the edge as well, Karen, as fans of the WSL will well know.
Yeah, she really does. I mean, when I used to play against her, she used to really wind me up because she just kind of would just peck away at you and your teammates. But, you know, since I've retired and been able to watch her a bit more, I've really been able to appreciate just how impressive she is as a player, her physicality and her attitude towards winning. She loves winning and she's so confident and she's so determined. I love that about her.
Ball over the top from Ireland is all the way through once more to Mackenzie Arnold, all in black, the Australia goalkeeper. Now the gold shirts will carry it over the halfway line. Here is Ellie Carpenter. Her ball forward is too strong. Caitlin Ford gives the thumbs up. The Arsenal striker, another who's had a very, very good season. 12 goals for Arsenal. Playing at her 4th World Cup as a young player of the tournament back in 2011. As you look at this Australia side, there are a handful that are playing at their first World Cup. Kyra Cooney-Cross and Courtney Vine among them, but so many have been to multiple tournaments, and of course all of these Republic of Ireland players playing at their first World Cup, their first major tournament, as Australia have the ball in the centre circle.
But I'll tell you what, they look perfectly in control and they look very, very confident, very calm and very, you know, just excited. The intensity that I'm seeing from this Australia side and the Irish, you know, it's fantastic.
So Australia in possession. Here is their centre-half Claire Hunt, squares it to Anna Kennedy of Manchester City. It's had a really challenging season with injury, Kennedy, but has signed a new deal with City. And now here is Katrina Gorry out to Ellie Carpenter, 2-time Champions League winner with Lyon. Back in field once more to Hunt. Australia in such superb form coming into this tournament. 9 wins in their last 10 matches, including the victory over Serena Wiegmann's England that ended Wiegmann's 30-match unbeaten run as Carpenter plays the ball into the area. Straightforward enough for Courtney Brosnan. But again, even without Sam Kerr, who is so dangerous in the air, having Caitlin Ford to aim at is certainly a target as well.
I mean, she's an amazing player. She was fantastic for Arsenal this season. You know, really been able to. She enjoys a 1v1. She likes taking people on. You know, she loves a good dribble, and she's so quick and she's so tenacious. Like, she'll definitely impose a threat. And the partnership between her and Mary Fowler is going to be a massive threat tonight.
Australia in possession once more, just inside their own half. This, as we mentioned, Fowler, Manchester City, in fabulous form at the moment, just 20 years old, made her debut as a 15-year-old. She actually has Irish heritage. She was born in Australia, her dad was born in Dublin. Both of her elder siblings were Irish youth internationals, and you just wonder if Australia saw that and thought, hang on a minute, you make your debut at 15 because we want you. And well might they. As the ball goes over the top, too much on that for Hayley Rasso of Australia, and it's behind for a goal kick to Ireland. But she scored both goals in Australia's friendly defeat to Ireland a couple of years ago, Mary Fowler, and said that there was a moment where she did think about playing for Ireland, having that heritage, but has this very strong connection with Australia, having been born here.
Yeah, sometimes it's a difficult choice. I mean, I certainly had to make it growing up in the US, and my heritage is completely English. My parents are from Manchester originally and moved to the US, and it meant so much to me to be able to represent my family.
Mary Fowler almost getting on the ball there, but Katie McCabe gets there first and comes forward down that right-hand side. Now pushed into a central position, but she can play anywhere, Katie McCabe. That's such an advantage again for the Republic of Ireland. Such a key player for them as they just enjoy a little spell of possession. A rare spell, 13 minutes in, still goalless in their opener. A major tournament bow at the Women's World Cup as Australia win the ball just outside their own penalty area. Ireland have it back, they have a player down, referee plays advantage. Ireland hemmed in over on that right hand side, but they still have possession. Here is Denise O'Sullivan, picks it up, plays it out to the right hand side once more, and Ireland will work it all the way back into their own half. Let's head for an update from the Open. Cat Downs.
Yeah, thanks, Vicky. Australians making headlines all over the world. Lucas Herbert, the Australian, sharing the lead at the Open Championship here at Royal Liverpool on the Wirral Peninsula with the South African amateur, Christo Lambrecht. Both of those on 3 under par. I'm out following a bunch of major champions. Matt Fitzpatrick, Jordan Spieth, Jason Day. Matt Fitzpatrick picked up a double bogey 6 on the 7th, the par 4, so he slipped to 2 over par. And Jordan Spieth was just 1 off the lead until a very short time ago. He's made a real mess of the par 4 8th here. A double bogey for him leaves him back at a level par. But Lucas Herbert, the Australian, and the amateur from South Africa, Christo Lambrecht, lead the Open in the early stages at 3 under par.
Thanks, Kat. Big cheers here at Stadium Australia because Katie McCabe's gone down and won a free kick for Ireland. And Hayley Raso not too impressed with that. Raso, who's come up against McCabe multiple times in the WSL during her time at Manchester City and at Everton before that. And that's it, isn't it? You were saying earlier, Karen, Katie McCabe's a player that can get under your skin, and she knows so many of these WSL players so well.
Yeah.
She knows how to do that. She's also a very good set-piece taker. She's one option, has both arms in the air. Megan Connolly is there as well. It will be Katie McCabe, swings it to the edge of the area, flicked on by Ireland into the box. Nifahi's up there, challenging aerially for the ball. Australia get the header away out of the penalty area, and now they're away on the counter. Good defending though at the back by Marissa Shiva for Ireland. It goes out for a throw, and Raso looked to take it quickly, looked forward, but there was nobody really there. Ellie Carpenter will take it instead and throw it back, and that is one example, isn't it, where Sam Kerr just sitting on that back line. She would have been the outlet there had she been fit to play.
Yeah, absolutely. It's a missed opportunity, I think, but good recognition from Raso. But yeah, you're absolutely right. I mean, sometimes Sam Kerr could drop in, be a threat centrally, and it's just kind of building that relationship, isn't it, going forward for Australia.
Lovely play again by Katrina Gorry in the centre of the park for Australia. Nifahi comes out and does well to dispossess Steph Catley, but Australia have it again down the left-hand side. Ireland get the foot in. They're all appealing for it, but it will be another Australia corner.
Yeah, another great opportunity. We just saw, a previous set piece for Ireland, and we've seen that they've been really, really dangerous in previous fixtures where they just essentially crash the box, don't they? They just throw like 4 or 5 players at the edge and kind of wait for a deflection. But, obviously Australia very, very dangerous for the likes of Alana Kennedy kind of moseying in just at the edge of the area, ready as a target. Yeah,
she's got real height, Alana Kennedy, lurking around the penalty spots. 5 golden shirts in the area, 1 more inside the 6-yard box. Is a difficult delivery to deal with, but in the end Australia don't make the most of it. Ireland couldn't really get first contact on it, but Claire Hunt was up from the back, got the header away under a bit of pressure, but really perhaps should have done better, although it is good covering defending in the end by Ireland, just to put her off on the corner of the 6-yard box.
It's a bit disappointing that it seemed like the delivery was slightly mistimed. I think she arrived a bit too early in the box, Claire Hunt, but I'm sure she'll get plenty more opportunities tonight.
Well, she's never scored for Australia, only made her debut back in February. This is her 7th cap, the centre half. The ball goes out of play for an Ireland goal kick.
Interesting there. I mean, Courtney Brosnan went out to play short. Hayley Raso immediately pressured, and the ball went out again for a goal kick. And Courtney Brosnan said, not having any of this, go in direct. We're going to play direct for the next, I imagine the next maybe 5-10 minutes. We'll see.
So ball goes out of play for an Ireland throw, which Katie McCabe will take right in front of her manager, Vera Powell. Ireland pick it up on that left-hand side. Good pressure by Australia. 2 golden shirts surrounding Kira Carusa. And they win the ball as well and play it out to the left-hand side. But Ireland's shape is good with that back 5. It's a formation they know so well. It's going to be tested now, though. Nifahi on the edge of the area is trying to stop the Australian advance and does so at the expense of a corner, but Caitlin Ford, she loves those stepovers, those runs into the box, cutting in from that wide position, and she's won a corner for Australia. 0-0, 18 minutes gone.
It's some fantastic footwork here from Steph Catley, apologies. She 2v1, Caitlin Ford 2v1 into the box and just kind of really dropping a shoulder, jinking around. And some great defending from the Irish as well.
So another set piece to defend as Ireland try and hold fast to this clean sheet. Anticipation rises inside Stadium Australia. Kennedy was in there, just misses the header. Ireland get the ball out of the penalty area. Cooney Cross will pick it up, plays it back in a central position and receives it once more. Ball into the penalty area from Cooney Cross. The golden shirts are still up there. Ireland win the header. They have a player down. Catley will pick it up on the edge of the box and plays it back once more as it's driven in again. Ireland's clear the danger just outside the penalty area. They're holding fast at the moment, the Irish, on their major tournament debut, and they've stolen possession. And here goes Katie McCabe over the halfway line and plays the ball centrally, and Australia have missed it, and Carusa could be in here, but it's good covering defending in the end. Excellent again by Katrina Gorry, the midfielder, slotting back into that central defensive position, and the chance is gone for Kira Carusa.
Oh, what a fantastic ball from Katie McCabe. Really, really well weighted, just dipped in over the defender for Australia, and lovely into the feet of Carusa, but yeah, I just couldn't quite make the most of it.
Well, it was one through ball that undid Scotland in the playoffs. Beautiful from Denise O'Sullivan to play it through to Amber Barrett, who's on the bench. She was the heroine. She came off the bench in that game as well to send them through. He's a strength of the Irish as they come down the right-hand side. Australia, though, will read that well and play it away out for an Ireland throw.
I'm really enjoying the Irish getting forward. You know, they're really, really keen to get into the box.
And they're playing the ball into the penalty area now. Cleared away at the back by Ellie Carpenter under real pressure. Won the header on the edge of her 6-yard box, and here she goes down the right-hand side. The Leon right back, she's so dangerous when she gets forward, loves to attack, but showing her defensive prowess there as well as Claire Hunt, the centre half, picks it up and squares it to Alana Kennedy. 20 minutes played, it's 0-0, Karen Bardsley.
You can see Ireland really growing into this game. The numbers they're putting forward. Marissa Shiva, you know, really, really pressing, really, really getting about the pitch. It's great attitude, great desire from Ireland.
And she's on the ball here once more, Marissa Shiva. Denise O'Sullivan can't pick it up in the centre of the park though. Well, Ireland looked as though they'd won it back there. Indeed they had, and then Australia commit the foul, so it will be an Ireland free kick just inside their own half. Ireland playing from right to left here on 5 Live at Stadium Australia. And they're still goalless, but as you say, Karen Bardsley, they've really settled into this game. They don't look overawed whatsoever.
No, they certainly don't. They look very, very confident. Courtney Brosnan's got a very high starting position. You know, she's pushing Louise Quinn up the pitch. There's a lovely connection across the back 5 when they're when they're out of possession.
Ball into the penalty area, took a little deflection, and Alana Kennedy will clear away for Australia.
And that's, you know, again, the two teams playing each other are understanding when they need to go direct, when they need to hold on to possession, and it seems like it's just beginning a bit of a chess match, you know, balls being probed into the midfield, waiting to see where the mistakes are made.
Ball over the top once more from Ireland is all the way through with Mackenzie Arnold. It's clear that is such a tactic for them, you know, long ball, either Carusa will chase it, or if they can get Katie McCabe up there just in a little bit of support. Marissa Shiva as well, Sinead Farrelly.
It's going to be incredibly important to make sure that Carusa is staying connected with her midfield as well, you know, making sure that her wide players are coming in and supporting, especially, you know, when they're out of possession as well, to form that mid to low block.
Midway through the first half, goalless here at the Women's World Cup in Sydney on 5 Live as Alana Kennedy picks it up for Australia. Out to the right-hand side she goes and finds Hayley Rasso, who chests the ball down, plays it in field, but it's ahead of Ellie Carpenter, and Katie McCabe will bring it away under pressure. Australia almost win it back. Rusha Littlejohn, they will steer it back to Megan Connolly, who in turn goes back to Courtney Brosnan, and the goalkeeper all in mauve for Ireland. Play the ball forward, but Ireland are under pressure and they've lost the ball midway through their own half. But sloppy pass again from Australia, and will be picked up by Ireland's influential midfielder Denise O'Sullivan, who recovered from a bruised shin sustained in that friendly against Colombia to take part in this match. A friendly abandoned was behind closed doors after just 20 minutes because the Irish FA felt that it was getting overly physical. Colombia didn't quite agree, put out a statement of their own, but said they respected Ireland's decision, and you certainly don't want to pick up any injuries in a friendly just before the World Cup, as Ireland are in possession just inside the Australia half. Carusa loses out, and here come Australia. We'll be heading to the cricket shortly. Mary Fowler, lovely turn just inside the Australia half, and the 20-year-old of Manchester City is bursting forward, plays it out to the left-hand side. Australia can't keep hold of it though. It will go out for a throw, so let's head to Ellie at Old Trafford.
Bit of frustration for England's bowlers at the moment. Australia 317 for 9. Pat Cummins dismissed for the very first ball of the day, and then Josh Hazlewood, the next over, looked to have been caught at slip off Chris Woakes, but it was a no ball, so they've added 17 since then. Australia 317 for 9 with Stark on 36 and Hazlewood 4.
Thanks very much, Ellie. Ball by ball coverage continues over on 5 Sports Extra. Here at Stadium Australia, it's still goalless. Australia have possession with Claire Hunt, their centre half, on the halfway line, plays the ball forward down the left-hand side. Lung-busting run, won't quite keep it in from Courtney Vine, and it's out for an Ireland goal kick. We've just seen a shot of Sam Kerr, who is here today, the Australia captain, their star woman, Chelsea's top scorer this season, carrying the hopes of a nation on her shoulders. But she's out. She picked up a calf injury yesterday. She'll miss the first 2 games. And fair to say, Karen Bardsley, she was looking exceedingly glum.
Yeah, the camera was right in her face, like during, the warm-up and everything. And she looked incredibly disappointed. And I mean, gosh, you can imagine the entire build-up is essentially about you, and then suddenly you're unavailable. So, look, she's a fighter. She's a champion in terms of the performances that she puts on. And this is her stage, and she will want to get back fit as possible, as soon as possible.
Ball goes out of play for an Ireland throw. Yes, she's all over Sydney. If you turn on the radio, if you turn on the television, if you look at the billboards, it's Sam Kerr. But as we said, Australia are not a one-woman team. But we discussed it on the Football Daily last night, didn't we? But you can download from BBC Sounds. Australia have hopes of going very deep into this tournament. They believe they can win it. They're not the favourites. USA, England, Spain, Germany, perhaps above them, but they want to make people sit up and take notice. They believe that they're capable of getting to the final and potentially going all the way, but as Sam Kerr, that difference maker. Here comes Rasso into the penalty area, cleared away by Louise Quinn, who's saying that should be a goal kick. The assistant on the near side disagrees. It will be another Australia corner, Karen Bardsley.
And those are the fine margins, I think, that might potentially catch Ireland out. I think Megan Connolly misread the ball a bit, didn't time the bounce, and Hayley Rasso was potentially in.
So Steph Catley of Arsenal, the captain on the night, comes over to this near side to take the corner. There are so many good set-piece deliverers. Catley, very much one of those. Gorry is there as a short option. There's just one Ireland player in Marisha Shiva out there, but Catley does swing it into the 6-yard box. Cleared away by an Irish head, and it will be another Australia corner. And you have to say, Courtney Brosnan didn't know whether to stay or go there.
No, definitely looked a bit uncertain and indecisive there, but great delivery in from Steph Catley, curling into that near post space. Sometimes a keeper wants to put one on the space and on the post, but really indecisive from Ireland there.
Well, they defend this better. It's usually a strength of theirs. Catley's delivery to the far post this time. Oh, edge of the 6-yard box, and the header is wide. Big opportunity from Hayley Rasso. And she has her head in her hands, that yellow ribbon bobbing. She's not the tallest, Rasso, but she had a good leap. She got up there, she made contact, and she nods just wide of the post from the edge of the box. And to Ireland's credit, they had a player on the line who I think would have dealt with that. They haven't quite dealt with that clearance. Just about get it away from that goal kick. Mary Fowler brings it down for Australia. Ireland get the foot in and win it back. Here is Little John, falls backwards to Niamh Fahy, the Liverpool captain. Out to the right-hand side she goes now, and Heather Payne will play it forward into Catley, who blocks it once more, and the ricochet will fall to Fowler for Australia, who are building up a head of steam. And as I say that, Irish fans will be relieved. It's the commentator's curse. It's a poor ball from Fowler. It's all the way through to the Ireland goalkeeper, Courtney Brosnan.
It's going to be really important again for Ireland to manage this tempo. I think they maybe got a little bit comfortable, and now they're starting to play out a little bit, and this press from Australia is incredibly intense.
Yeah, really piling on the pressure, Australia. As the ball goes out of play, Marissa Shiva won't keep that in, and Australia win the throw, third of the way inside the Ireland half, taken quickly by Ellie Carpenter. Beautiful control by Mary Fowler there. Manchester City just killed that ball dead for Australia as they play it back inside their own half to Claire Hunt. But overall, if you're looking at the respective weightings, the respective favouritism of the teams heading into this, Australia ranked 10th in the world, the Republic of Ireland 22nd. Vera Pauw, surely as Ireland manager, has got to be more pleased with this than Tony Gustafsson, the Swedish manager of Australia, will be. Vera Pauw's going to be very pleased now, and Gustafsson's furious because Carusa's stolen it. Australia are asking for the free kick, they've not got one. Carusa to the edge of the area, it's a poor ball in field to Marissa Shiva, and you can hear from the cheers around Stadium Australia that Ireland have wasted that, but Australia have wasted the ball forward. Rare poor pass from Katrina Gorry, intercepted by Louise Quinn, and suddenly it's end-to-end. Here come Ireland, down the left-hand side. Marissa Shiva, early ball into the penalty area. Mackenzie Arnold suddenly had to adjust and tip it away rather than catch it. Catley helps her out, plays it out for a throw under pressure from Heather Payne. Goodness me, end-to-end there, Karen, for a moment.
Oh, transition is the word, isn't it? I mean, wow, both teams just going end-to-end. Katie McCabe getting on the ball and playing a lovely outside of the foot pass to Marissa Shiva, and delivers a lovely cross into the box. It looks like it might have caught Mackenzie Arnold out a little bit. She had to backpedal and kind of parry it out for a throw.
Which Republic of Ireland take quickly. Denise O'Sullivan's ball into the area. Shiva can't quite win the header. It comes out to the captain, Katie McCabe. Shiva's taken up a wide left position and McCabe finds her. Shiva's ball in, blocked away by Carpenter. Shiva will get another go, dinks the ball in, the header is flicked on, will come over to that far side, just kept in by Ireland. Denise O'Sullivan isn't there, but in the end, belatedly, the offside flag goes up. It was the referee, in fact, who gave the decision rather than the assistant on the far side. Australia was certainly appealing. And as we just see a replay here of Carusa's header, Farrelly is offside, keeping the ball in on the byline for Ireland, and it is correctly an Australia goal kick, and no need for VAR to get involved whatsoever.
Absolutely not. Great decision. I think, I'm really enjoying watching Katie McCabe right now, as she heads out to the ball for Hayley Raso and absolutely drops her.
Well, it was Raso on McCabe earlier, wasn't it? And now it's McCabe on Raso, and she's moved away very quickly there, Casey McCabe, both from Raso and from our Brazilian referee, Adina Alves, who is not fooled, comes over to talk to the Ireland captain. It's Tony Gustafsson, the Australian manager, throws his arms up in the air.
These two are just going to be going at each other all night, aren't you? You can just imagine what their shins are going to look like at the end of the night.
I was going to say, it's a relatively chilly night in Sydney. We're probably at around 12 degrees, which I don't think is chilly, but there are green and gold bobble hats everywhere. This is winter, certainly, if you're from down under. Tony Gustafsson's there in his big two-shaded blue puffer jacket as Australia prepare to take this free kick. Wide right position will be left by Gorry. Catley swings it in, left-footed. Brosnan's come a long way, gets something on it but didn't take that cleanly. She's helped up by her defence, who clear her way up towards halfway. No green shirt up there for Ireland, and Australia will come again with 12 minutes plus added time to play in this first half. They're really building up a head of steam as McCabe tangling once more with Raso just outside the penalty area. Let's keep an eye on that as the ball goes out of play for a throw. And the referee is keeping an eye on that as well. She's just blown a whistle to stop Ireland taking this throw. I think she wants to have a word here, perhaps, with Hayley Raso and Katie McCabe. She's just going to leave it.
What did we say before the game started? We said shenanigans, didn't we?
Well, she feels it so much, Katie McCabe. She's a player that plays on the edge. She plays with passion. The Arsenal fans love her for it. The Ireland fans love her for it. Her opponents hate her for it. And of course, she's coming up against a couple of Arsenal opponents in Australia in Steph Catley and Caitlin Ford. So, love-hate relationship depending on what team you're on a given day. As Ireland play the ball out of play, Katie McCabe just stretching out a hand to Risha Littlejohn and saying it's all right.
Feels as though
a throw to Australia.
Feels as though momentum shifting a bit more in Australia's favour right now. I think obviously Ireland enjoyed a spell of possession, a spell of confidence, but now it seems like numbers are really getting forward and Australia really, really pressing on.
Wicket at the cricket, Ellie.
Yes, it's the final wicket and slightly delayed, but Chris Wokes has taken that final wicket of Josh Hazlewood, caught high up at slip by Ben Duckett. He was out for 4. Chris Wokes, 5 for 62, his 5th Test 5-fer, and he's just had a terrific ovation from the big crowd here at Old Trafford. So Australia all out for 317.
Thanks very much, Ellie. When they get back underway, England begin their innings. We will have full ball-by-ball coverage over on 5 Sports Extra with Ellie and the team. Australia take this throw with Ellie Carpenter. Cleared away from the edge of the 6-yard box by Ireland, will be picked up once more by Australia, and Carpenter once more plays it in field, but Fowler can't reach it. It will be Ireland that pick it up with Denise O'Sullivan. Such a key midfielder for them, Sullivan. Do you think she needs to try and exert a little bit more influence on the game as Ireland have it just outside their own penalty area?
I think it's difficult because they're not really building up that much, so they're going a bit direct. So I think they do miss out the midfield at times. But she has been brave enough to try and get on the ball, but she seems to be isolated at times.
So throw to Ireland, midway inside their own half. Goalless here at the Women's World Cup. How are things looking at the Open? Alistair Bruce-Ball can tell us.
Well, in terms of conditions, a beautiful Open Championship morning on the Wirral. First day of the 151st Open. Giant presence at the top of the leaderboard. Quite literally, the South African amateur Christo Lamprecht leads by 2 shots on 4 under par. 4 holes of his first round of play. Big group of players on 2 under, including one of the guys I'm watching, world number 1 Scotty Scheffler. So remarkably consistent, playing beautifully this morning. Home hope Matthew Jordan teed off first this morning. He's in the clubhouse at 2 under par already, and Tommy Fleetwood in this group got himself to 1 under with a birdie on the 5th, but then has bogeyed the par 3/6. He's at level.
Side netting from Australia and Caitlin Ford. They're getting closer, Karen Barsley. Lovely work down the left-hand side, and again Vine involved.
Yes, indeed. And, we've seen a lot of chances created in the build-up to this game as well from Australia and Ireland, but just lacking that crucial finish, aren't we?
And the Ireland have concern here because they have a player down, and it is Katie McCabe. Now this would not be good news at all as the camera cuts to a concerned Vera Pauw sitting in the Ireland's technical area. Well, she did come off with a knock in the friendly against France a couple of weeks ago. Katie McCabe, past fit for this game, but she's gone down now, and we've been at many games, haven't we, Karen, where you talk about tactical decisions in terms of just buying a little bit of time. We're seeing the tackle that might have led to this injury, if it is an injury. It's on Ellie Carpenter. Clear one of the ball from McCabe, but perhaps falls a little bit awkwardly afterwards.
Yeah, it's a strange one. I can't really put my finger on what exactly has happened there. I mean, didn't look like any sort of ankle, didn't look like any sort of knee. I don't know if it was the way she landed, maybe an elbow or a shoulder. They can be pesky, but we know that Katie McCabe is one tough cookie.
Well, it has given Ireland's players a chance, including their goalkeeper Courtney Brosnan, to come over. So maybe Katie McCabe has perhaps got tactical reasons on her mind as much as anything else, but we'll see. But they were building up ahead of steam, Australia. It does disrupt them a little bit, this stoppage in play. So full commentary of every England match throughout the Women's World Cup live here on 5 Live from Australia. Plenty of content on BBC Sounds as well. You can listen to our commentaries on BBC Sounds, of course, but of course the podcast will have reaction and stories and interviews from the England camp with Juliette Farrington and the Football Daily podcast regularly. And do check out the latest episode of Jill Scott's Coffee Club as well. What a guest we have for you. The England manager, Sarina Wiegman, sitting down with Jill. You can listen to that on BBC Sounds. So, Katie McCabe is up. She looks to be okay. Ireland have got some refreshed instructions from Vera Pauw. What do you think she might have been saying to them, Karen, as
I think
Courtney Brosnan gets
they're going to want to just stay compact and direct and kind of see out the next few minutes here. I think get back rhythm and get hold of this game again and really enforce themselves on Australia like they had been doing.
Lovely turn by Claire Hunt, the Australia centre half at the back, to take the ball away from Kira Carusa. Plays it out to the right hand side, and here come Australia. Can Ireland hold firm until half time? Rasso and McCabe coming together once again. McCabe makes the block, ball spins out of play for an Australia throw. Rasso has stayed down, McCabe's got up very quickly and again moved away from Rasso and the referee. That is turning into a real battle, isn't it, between McCabe and Rasso?
It's a bit of a big touch here from Rasso, and the ball just gets away from her, and looks to me like they've just knocked knees, and that is very, very painful, but hopefully it's nothing more than that.
Well, she's a player who's really struggled with injury during her career. Hayley Rasso once made a comeback after just 5 months after breaking 3 vertebrae in her back. That was back in 2018. At the time, initially feared that she might never walk again. but she recovered remarkably quickly and is now playing for Australia in a home World Cup. And she's a tough cookie as well. Once broke her nose playing for Australia, played on for an hour almost. As Australia, Caitlin Ford drives the ball into the area. It's gathered by Courtney Brosnan, but Mary Fowler was there on the edge of the 6-yard box, and had she just got even the faintest of touches, that could well have been 1-0 Australia.
It's great from Caitlin Ford. She's just picked the ball up, turned inside. You can see the channel was there. Mary Fowler wasn't quite there yet. The ball, the pass from Caitlin Ford just eluded Mary Fowler into the grateful hands, I imagine, of Courtney Brosnan.
Australia in possession. Play the ball over the halfway line, cleared away by Katie McCabe, who certainly looks no worse for wear from that knock she picked up, if indeed it was a knock, or if indeed it was tactically to give Ireland a bit of a stoppage in play to regroup and try and alleviate some of this Australia pressure. McCabe it is who will take this throw, and as we watch Courtney Brosnan in that mauve goalkeeping kit inside the Ireland penalty area, she's not really had too much to do other than try and deal with set pieces as Australia win a throw midway through their own half, 0-0.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, you can see her presence. Her start position is nice and high to support the back line, like we've mentioned already. She's shown her, willingness to come for crosses. Maybe could have handled it a bit better in terms of punching and decision making and etc. But yeah, in terms of distribution and decision making, she's looked decisive. So yeah, I think it's been a really good half for Courtney Brosnan.
Driven past by Alana Kennedy, brilliant ball to find Rasso out on the right hand side, steps in field to get away from Katie McCabe perhaps. Ball played into the area, looking for Caitlin Ford, comes back to Vine, trying to work room for the shot. She's surrounded by green shirts, and eventually Denise O'Sullivan will get her foot in and get it away, and O'Sullivan receives the pass back to her as Ireland try and build down the right hand side. Lovely close control, but Australia in the end snuff out the attack and will try and build down the left. And they'll win the free kick as well. Hotly contested this final 4 minutes as Stadium Australia raises its voice and urges its side to find the breakthrough, as we see the first yellow card of the match as well. And Denise O'Sullivan will go over and protest.
Strange one, that. I think, Kira Cooney-Cross she's been very, very good. I think her partnership, again, as you alluded to earlier, with Katrina Gorey has just been really, really, effective in terms of slowing play down for Australia, managing those transitions, but then also like the build-up play and connecting with Mary Fowler.
So free kick to Australia. Third of the way inside the Ireland half. Over on that far side, the golden shirts are lined up just on the edge of the D. Two-player Ireland wall. It's bypassed by the looping ball. Kennedy's in there. Ireland's managed to get the ball away. McCabe helps it on. Mary Fowler tries to bring it down. Australia retain possession as Ireland force them back to the halfway line, and again it's another set piece defended well by Ireland as Ellie Carpenter plays the ball into the area, straightforwardly bounces through to Courtney Brosnan.
Again, really, really well managed there from Louise Quinn in terms of getting a body across the attacker and slowing that run down and allowing that ball again to get played over the top right into the hands of Courtney Brosnan.
So Denise O'Sullivan's protest to no avail. The yellow card will stand. And that is not ideal for Ireland to have. A hugely influential midfielder on a booking. But overall, it's been a very good half from Vera Pauw's side. And make no mistake, a point here in Stadium Australia in front of a sellout crowd of around 80,000 fans would be a very, very good start indeed for Ireland in their major tournament debut, and in terms of their hopes of getting out of the group. They have Canada next in Perth, then Nigeria, Canada and Australia, the two big pre-tournament favourites to progress from this group. But if they can get something here, it just sets them up so well, Karen. But a lot of football still to play as Australia have it outside the centre circle.
Yeah, absolutely. I've been really, really impressed with Ireland tonight. I wasn't quite sure what to expect based on what I saw against France in the previous fixtures as well, but yeah, very, very happy with what I've seen tonight, and I think Vera Pauw will be as well.
Denise O'Sullivan picks up the ball in the centre of midfield, loses out there, and Catley will play it out to the left-hand side. Here come Australia once more. Heather Payne has work to do and goes sliding in. Caitlin Ford almost gets past her for Australia. She's so tricky. She can just skip past players, but in the end, the two green shirts that surround her do their jobs, and Payne will clear away. But she is such a dangerous player. For Lionesses fans listening to us, it's a little bit like Lauren James, what Caitlin Ford likes to do. She goes wide and then she loves to just trick her way in field and cut in towards that penalty area.
She's like a combination a bit of like Lauren Hemp and Lauren James a little bit, you know, in terms of the ability to change direction really, really quickly and change pace a bit like Lauren Hemp does, but then also the skill from Lauren James as well to cut on the inside, etc. Yeah.
Now, we haven't mentioned VAR, but now we will, because there is a check for a possible penalty, a potential handball. And we're not being given any more information, but Australia potentially could be given a perfect breakthrough. And our referee, Adina Alves, is just raising her hand and saying, let's delay. And now she waves her arm. And she says, no, let's play on. And the Irish fans are cheering and they're waving their flags. Incidentally, if we do get an on-field review where the referee goes to the screen for this World Cup for the first time, they will announce the decision in stadium. So we will be able to hear a little brief explanation of why a decision was awarded or overturned as we enter 6 minutes of added time. And given that there haven't been that many injuries, we did have that one, didn't we, to Katie McCabe. No goals so far. It's quite a lot. But remember from the Men's World Cup, FIFA do quite like to do this, and we were told before the tournament that they would be doing so. They're being very strict with the amount of time that's wasted, the amount of time for stoppages, as Katie McCabe goes flying in again. Hayley Rasso is then brought down by Marissa Shiva. McCabe's just got to be careful here. Wasn't on Rasso that time. It's Rasso brought down by Shiva, but McCabe went flying in earlier, and she just can't afford to let that ability of playing on the edge just take her over the edge. It's the top of the foot of Kyra Cooney-Cross that she treads on. And again, it's one of those that in and of itself potentially is not worth a yellow card, but if you add them up, I mean, she could be on a booking by now.
No, there's an element of petulance, I think, as well, you know, just kind of ticking away, and I think it is kind of the referee's responsibility to kind of manage those situations, because if you don't nip it in the bud, it's just going to carry on and, you know, potentially get a little bit more heated, and we certainly don't want to see anyone get stretchered off or anything like that, or get sent off, in fact.
So 90 seconds of the 6 minutes at a time at the end of this first half have been played. 0-0 between Australia and Ireland at the Women's World Cup here on 5 Live in Sydney. Steph Catley is standing over this. Free kick for Australia. The golden shirts about 10 yards or so outside the penalty area as Catley swings the ball in, left-footed again. Ireland make first contact. Niamh Fahey, the Liverpool captain, gets there, clears the ball away, and it will be another Australia throw. I mean, Fahey and Quinn and Connolly, they're so good in the air defensively and offensively as well, but Ireland just haven't really had the set pieces other than that one free kick from Katie McCabe to try and test Australia, who take the throw quickly, and it's stinked forward very poorly by Katrina Gorry. The ball goes out of play. She's lost away a bit in this match, Gorry. I mean, we praised her to the skies in the opening 15 minutes, but she's had a poor 10 minutes or so.
Yeah, I think it looks like she's not quite on the same page, you know, in terms of Caitlin Ford and Mary Fowler. Mary Fowler's dropping in a bit deep, so perhaps she's just not used to seeing that relationship as she might from Sam Kerr.
Ireland up on the ball. Denise O'Sullivan is well challenged, though. And the ball goes out of play. It will be a free kick to Australia. Gorry goes down. Tony Gustafsson, the Australian manager, was right out there, almost on the pitch, appealing for that decision. And he did get it. In the end, it's gone out for a throw rather than the free kick, so he didn't quite get it. But it did go Australia's way. And they have the ball just outside the centre circle. Karen Bardsley.
I have to say, although it's physical, there's nothing that I've seen that's been terribly dangerous or like warranted of a card in its own right.
Here come Australia down the left-hand side. Miscued jump by Heather Payne, and Courtney Vine will play it back though, and the groan of disappointment because there was a little too much on that. And Australia go all the way back into their own half. 3 minutes of added time to play. Goal is here at Stadium Australia. England getting their campaign underway Saturday morning UK time. Full commentary from 10:30 against Haiti from Brisbane on 5 Live as the ball goes out of play for an Ireland throw. And the momentum, every time they just build a little bit, Australia, there's a poor pass, a poor ball, a poor delivery. It just dribbles away as Louise Quinn stoops all 6 foot of her to win that header on the edge of her penalty area. Here is Cooney Cross, plays the ball forward, well read by Fahy, stepping up out of that back 5 and plays the ball over the halfway line. But Alana Kennedy is there, the Australia and Manchester City centre half, plays it out now to Hunt. Now over on that far side with Catley. Hunt once more, Kennedy. Every single player bar Mackenzie Arnold, who has been a virtual spectator for most of this game, the Australia goalkeeper, inside the Ireland half. Ball forward again is poor, cut out easily by Katie McCabe, the Ireland skipper. Australia trying to bring it forward with Kennedy, but she's overrun it, and Marissa Shiva will play it forward, looking for Kira Carusa. Australia get the foot in though. Ellie Carpenter well shielded away from Katie McCabe, but look there at how quickly McCabe is playing at left wing back, wants to get forward there. She knows that if Ireland get possession inside the Australia half, although she's putting in such a shift defensively, she's got to get forward. And we've seen, haven't we, Karen, for her time at Arsenal, she can play left wing. I mean, she can play in an attacking sense just as well as she does in a defensive sense.
She's an absolutely incredibly versatile player. We saw her start out on the left and now she's central.
Here come Australia down the left-hand side with Courtney Vine, pulls it into Caitlin Ford, looking to pull the trigger inside the area. The angle's narrowed. She's got 2 green shirts around her. Brilliant sliding challenge from Heather Payne. And that little cluster of Ireland fans down to our right are waving their flags once again, sitting there in their green hats and their green tops. That was a brilliant challenge, and they appreciated Heather Payne for making it. Here come Australia once again, shot from distance. Roslin is right behind it. Gorry trying her luck from range, and that just shows how Ireland are frustrating Australia.
I think you're absolutely right. I think frustration is the word. I mean, to pull a shot from distance like that, it's a routine save for Courtney Brosnan. Handles it spectacularly, very, very clean. Manages the situation, going direct again. Yeah, you can see that Australia is certainly frustrated at the minute.
Clearance from Casey McCabe on the halfway line. We've got 10 seconds of the added 6 minutes to play. Still goalless between Australia and Ireland. And there we go. That is half time. And that is a very, very good half for Ireland, Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, it certainly is. I think the biggest difference that I noticed, I think, was when Katie McCabe, we just alluded to it there, was Katie McCabe started out on the left side, playing essentially a wing back, dropping back into the back 5 when Ireland were out of possession. But she became so much more dangerous, and the team became so much more stable, I think, when she moved into the midfield and started, become provider, essentially, of those attacks. And like Marissa Shiva was getting forward, putting in some crosses. Caruso was absolutely getting about the place. So yeah, I'm really impressed with Ireland.
As for Australia, is it as simple as they are missing Sam Kerr?
No, I don't think so. Not at all. I think there's an element around being the host nation and wanting to kind of obviously put your best foot forward and put your best performance on, but it looks as though they're forcing passes. Perhaps there's a bit of miscommunication about where the run should be coming from, or when the timing of the run, or perhaps the delivery of the ball. But it looks like the team's just doing a bit too much, and they just need to revert to the good things, the simple habits.
Well, flags still waving around us, saying "Go Matildas" in the green emblazoned on the gold, but they've not been going fast enough in this first half, and it's goalless at half time. Mark.
And here on 5 Live, we return to Vicky and Karen at the Women's World Cup.
Thanks very much, Mark. Yes, welcome back to Sydney, to Stadium Australia, where it is currently Australia 0, Ireland 0, as we approach the second half. Both sets of players are back out on the pitch. No changes at half-time. Australia, of course, without their captain, their star, their superwoman, the Chelsea striker Sam Kerr. She's out with a calf injury. She will miss this match and their next game against Nigeria as well. And then the Australia medical team will assess her. A huge blow for Australia, and it would be a huge blow, Karen Bardsley, if they were to drop points against the Republic of Ireland in this opener. For the Republic of Ireland making their major tournament debut, it would be glorious.
Yeah, in terms of the overall feel about the tournament, I think everyone really, really wants Australia to set this off right. But, Ireland have done fantastically well.
And we're underway in the second half. So, Ireland in possession in the green shirts, the white shorts and the green socks, playing from left to right. Australia in the golden shirts, the dark green shorts and the white socks, as they look to win possession back immediately with Mary Fowler. Manchester City, she's the replacement for Sam Kerr in this match, but can't do so. Heather Payne, the Ireland right wing back, picks up possession, plays the ball over the halfway line. Here is Denise O'Sullivan on a yellow card for Ireland, the only booking so far of this match, although as we were saying to a couple of commentators at half time, how Denise O'Sullivan has got one and Katie McCabe, the Ireland skipper, hasn't, is beyond quite a few of us, as Ireland win a free kick just inside the Australia half. So Australia with Mackenzie Arnold of West Ham in goal. The back four of Ellie Carpenter, Claire Hunt, Alana Kennedy of Manchester City and Steph Catley taking the armband on the night of Arsenal. While their back four, ahead of them it's Hayley Rasso, formerly of Manchester City, just joined Real Madrid, Kyra Cooney-Cross, Katrina Gorry and Courtney Vine, with Caitlin Ford of Arsenal and Mary Fowler of Manchester City up top. But Fowler is really sitting in that attacking midfield position behind Ford, and it is quite a fluid forward line for Australia. Ford often drifting out to that left hand side and cutting in field. I'll give you the Ireland team in a moment, but they have a free kick here, third of the way inside the Australia half. And set pieces they are capable of being so dangerous from. Swung in by Connolly to the edge of the area. Australia get the clearance away with Claire Hunt, their centre half, and Ellie Carpenter will bring it down the right hand side for Australia, but they can't keep hold of it. Ireland almost get themselves into a mix up at the back. And then Katie McCabe both down on the halfway line and wins the free kick for Ireland, who have Courtney Brosnan of Everton in goal. The back five of Heather Payne, Lee Fahy, the Liverpool skipper, Louise Quinn, the Birmingham captain, Megan Connolly, who's just left Brighton, and Katie McCabe of Arsenal, Arsenal's player of the year this season. McCabe, she's had a fantastic campaign. Ahead of them it's Sinead Farrelly, Denise O'Sullivan, Rusha Littlejohn, just left Aston Villa, and Marissa Shiva, with Kira Carusa, London City Lionesses in England's second tier up front. Carusa with that half chance in the first half, that ball over the top running through, was eventually dispossessed before she could get the shot away. But Ireland have started this second period well, 2.5 minutes gone, and they have a throw on the right hand side. They've given possession away though, and here come Australia with Katrina Gorry. Out to the right hand side she goes, but it's a poor ball, goes out of play, and Megan Connolly will ease over there for Ireland and prepare to leave this for her teammate and her captain, Katie McCabe. Karen Bardsley.
Yeah, it's interesting. I think, Katie McCabe has gone back out on the left side, and it looks like they're going to try and play a bit wider now, a bit more expansive, and we've not really seen that a whole lot from Vera Pauw's side.
And they've won the ball just inside the Australia half. Out to the right hand side they go, but delivery won't reach Heather Payne or Sinead Farrelly, who is wearing gloves on this chilly Sydney evening, and the green bobble hats are sprinkled down there in front of us as Kyra Cooney-Cross plays it forward to Mary Fowler. Another lovely touch by the 20-year-old Manchester City player, and Courtney Vine skipping in field into the area. Vine still going, trying to get the shot away, makes the challenge, fouls Fahy in the end, and it will be a free kick to Ireland. I think that's the right decision from our Brazilian referee Adina Alves. But again, lovely work from Courtney Vine. She's been very dangerous down that left-hand side, and particularly when she links up with Caitlin Ford.
It's a great little ball in from Mary Fowler into the path of Courtney Vine. She takes a touch with the outside of her right foot and just kind of gets across two players. But yeah, some great, again, last-ditch defending from Ireland.
So Courtney Brosnan will take this goal kick over the halfway line. It goes here at the Women's World Cup, goalless between Australia and the Republic of Ireland on a huge day of sport here on 5 Live. Continuing coverage of the Ashes throughout the day. You can listen to ball-by-ball coverage over on 5 Sports Extra. We'll keep you right up to date here on 5 Live as well, as we will with the opening day at the Open. Coverage of that continuing deep into the evening here on 5 Live, and of course throughout the Women's World Cup we will bring you commentary live from Australia of every single England match. They get their campaign underway Saturday morning UK time, 10:30 in Brisbane against Haiti, as Australia come forward, lay off by Caitlin Ford to Mary Fowler, as Catley there with her as an option and lays it off to Catley, central position midway through the Ireland half, out to the left hand side once more, and Courtney Vine, who plays it back to Kyra Cooney-Cross. High ball into the area now, Australia player down, penalty given, Hayley Raso it was who went down under pressure. Marisa Shiva is protesting for Ireland, but the Brazilian referee Adina Alves has pointed to the spot, and Australia in the opening 6 minutes of this second half have a penalty.
It's a good ball in. It looks like it's a little bit heavy-handed from Shiva. Just gets two hands to the back of Russo, and I mean, she's done this millions of times before. She'll know just to go to ground. But yeah, there was definitely contact in there. That's a penalty for me.
And it's one of these, we do have VAR, but if it's given, it's got to be clear and obvious to overturn it. And as you say, there's contact there. There is the push in the back. She's furious, Marisa Shiva. But I wonder if she's furious with herself as well for giving the referee a choice to make. And the choice is Australia penalty.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but Courtney Brosnan did save a penalty in, was it the qualifiers?
It was in the playoff final against Scotland. And it looked for a moment as though it was going to be Caitlin Ford to take this penalty, but it won't be. Responsibility has been taken by Steph Catley for Australia. So Brosnan bouncing on her line. The chance for Australia to take the lead from the spot, and they do take the lead from the spot. Celebrations all around Stadium Australia, and Steph Catley taking the armband in the absence of the injured Sam Kerr, takes her opportunity, takes her moment, and Australia lead Ireland in Sydney 1-0.
It's a great penalty. It's gone to Courtney Brosnan's top right corner, and the net just absolutely bulges with the ball. I mean, the composure to kind of really put that away from Steph Catley. It's a great penalty. I'm sorry, no one's getting to that. And it's a fantastic narrative here for Australia.
Well, she said in the build-up to this tournament, she has been counting down the days as Mary Fowler comes forward again for Australia. Let's fly from just inside the penalty area. She was challenged by Louise Quinn and Littlejohn, and between them they put her off. And she fires over the bar, but Australia with the wind in their sails now. But yes, Catley said, in the build-up to this tournament, she's been counting down the days. Nothing, she said, has felt this long in my entire life. Well, I'm sure that will be a moment frozen in time, etched in her memory. Australia's first goal as co-hosts of this World Cup, and it gives them the breakthrough against Ireland, who must be kicking themselves, Karen Bardsley.
Absolutely, it's disappointing. I mean, I think Hayley Raso just gets the wrong side of Shiva, and Shiva just really can't do anything but body her off, and then just puts two hands on the back, and Hayley Raso is down for the penalty. But my word, the noise in this place when that went in from Steph Catley, this place just erupted, and it might cause trouble for Ireland going forward.
Because that's what Ireland have to do now. They have to come forward. They're doing so. Down the left-hand side, they have a throw. They're being well held up by Australia. 8.5 minutes played in this second half. It's Australia who lead, and Katie McCabe's involved again. She's won a free kick. She's chest to chest with Hayley Raso. The Brazilian referee, Adina Alves, is sending Raso away. Ireland free kick, and McCabe in amongst it once more. It was a little miscontrol initially from Katie McCabe. There's really not very much in that in terms of a free kick, and you can see why Raso and Gorry are so frustrated, but then a little push there from Hayley Raso. That is unwise, perhaps, Karen Bardsley.
No, it is. I mean, you don't want to get involved in something like that, you know, this early on in the tournament as well. But this is what Katie McCabe does. She frustrates teams that she plays against, and then suddenly you lose kind of that focus, don't you?
And as we said in the first half, she also has a wicked set-piece delivery, and she's standing over this one again. Ireland have a couple of options, but will it be the captain? Will it be Katie McCabe? The green shirts are lined up, dotted amongst the gold ones on the edge of the penalty area. McCabe, in fact, will leave it. It's lifted high into the penalty area. Australia make first contact. Can't clear the ball out of the box. Denise O'Sullivan will try and bring it down. Can't do so. Just outside the D, and Australia should be able to clear with their goal scorer, Steph Catley. Headed away by Heather Payne, into trouble, into a congested centre circle, and Australia come away with it. Gorry out to the right-hand side. Carpenter, Cooney Cross. Australia starting to click. Fires across with her. Slight miscontrol by Cooney Cross. He plays it back to Ellie Carpenter. Lovely turn from the Leon right back. Forward now once more from Gorry, but again, having praised her to the hilt in the first 15 minutes, she's really lost her passing range, and it's all the way through with Courtney Brosnan. Australia 1, Ireland 0. 10 minutes gone in the second half here on 5 Live.
Yeah, it's interesting you say that. I mean, the effectiveness maybe in terms of her quality that we're used to seeing from Katrina Gorey just isn't quite there, to your point. But I think Mary Fowler is kind of taking some of that slack by dropping in a bit deeper and getting on the ball and turning and going forward. But the confidence that I'm seeing right now from Australia is fantastic. It's like they've just been unlocked and unleashed, and they're just getting forward with so much confidence. It's great to see.
Mini stoppage in play here because Louise Quinn, the tall Irish centre half, was down, but she's up to her feet. She's jogging back to that back line as Ireland have to try and come from behind. Ireland, who have won just once in their last 5 games. They failed to score in 4 of their last 5 as well, although in their last friendly against France they really should have been given the opener. It was incorrectly ruled out for offside. They went on to lose 3-0 and they're trailing 1-0. Stadium Australia in front of this partisan home crowd who have seen their side finally find the breakthrough as Ireland win a free kick just inside the Australia half. Karen Bardsley.
I think we're starting to see some gaps emerge, between the ranks for Ireland. They're not able to kind of get up to the ball as quickly as maybe they were doing in the first half. And I wonder if, obviously conceding has obviously taken a little bit of wind out of their sails, but, has fatigue also kind of set in a little bit? Will they be able to kind of maintain that tempo that they had in the first half?
Well, there are 2 balls on the pitch at the moment, and 3 balls actually. One of them has just rolled off. There's one here that Courtney Brosnan hasn't quite spotted, so it's been retrieved by one of the ball assistants, taken away. And now Ireland will prepare to take this free kick just inside the Australia half, swung to the edge of the penalty area, straight into the arms of Mackenzie Arnold. And really, it's a poor delivery. Karen Bardsley, we know they can be good from set pieces. They've got to make more of them than that.
Yeah, Ireland really hasn't been capitalising, and you just look at it now, Australia's in transition. But what a take from Mackenzie Arnold. And what I really, really like about what I saw there was a great start position from her. She was nice and high, but forced the back line up as well, gave her plenty of space to come and take that really, really confidently and set Australia on the way.
Here is Alana Kennedy. You're with us in Sydney on 5 Live at this Women's World Cup. Australia leading Ireland by a 1-0. Coverage of the Ashes continuing over on 5 Sports Extra. We'll have regular updates from the Open Golf as well, as Ireland come forward with Carusa playing the ball forward to Shiva, looking for that run. Shiva, who gave away the penalty, but it's all the way through with Mackenzie Arnold. Vera Pauw stands, her arms folded on the edge of her technical area. Well, this won't be a surprise to Ireland in terms of the expectation that Australia had coming into this match, but tactically, what can she do to change it? They're obviously playing with the back 5. They can make that more advanced in that formation, change it into more of a back 3 and get the wing backs further forward, or they can swap to a 4 at the back. Plenty of possibilities.
I think at the minute it's just about taking those risks, about getting numbers forward. At the minute you're obviously down 1-0. Do you want to concede again? At the end of the day, it would be the same points tally, if you concede 0. So do you want to take those risks? Do you want to try and grow in momentum? Because I do think they need to start pushing forward. I think we need to see a bit more from the midfield, because Carusa at the moment in time is just working in isolation. It's a big shift and she's going to fatigue.
Australia with the ball on the halfway line, leading by a 0-0. Out to the left-hand side they come, and Caitlin Ford played forward now to Mary Fowler, edge of the penalty area. Poor ball from Fowler, plays it straight to Denise O'Sullivan. She overruns it, and Australia win it back. Let's head to Old Trafford and the Ashes. Ellie Oldroyd.
And England are 26 for 1 in reply to Australia's 317 all out. Zach Crawley's on 17. He's just hit his second boundary of the innings. He hit this first ball that he faced for 4 as well. Moeen Ali's on 8, but England just a bit of a tentative start here. 26 for 1 in reply to Australia's 317.
Thanks, Ellie. Ball by ball coverage continues with Ellie and the team over on 5 Sports Extra, and you can take us with you wherever you go on BBC Sounds, whether it's the golf, the football, the cricket, we're here with all of it for you. As Australia have it down the right-hand side, leading by a goal to nil. Play to the edge of the penalty area. Catley, who scored that penalty, picks it up and plays it out to the right-hand side. Half an hour to play. Can Ireland find a way back into this? Heather Payne misses the defensive header. It's spun out to Caitlin Ford, left-hand side. Jinks away into the penalty area. Still going forward, but crowded out by 3 green shirts. And the ball out is pulled. Denise O'Sullivan gets there. Collides with Catley. Goes down. Nothing doing as Katrina Gorry tries her luck from the edge of the D and chips the ball high over Courtney Brosnan's bar.
Australia really looking confident. Alana Kennedy stayed behind around halfway. And everyone else essentially is pushing up. We got Steph Catley going up the left. We've got Cooney Cross stepping into the midfield a bit higher. We got Gorey staying in behind a little bit and Mary Fowler pushing on. It's just numbers going forward. It doesn't look like they're that concerned about the Irish attack at this moment in time.
Brosnan launches it forward. The Ireland goalkeeper, Mary Fowler, wins the header for Australia. Coming once again, Niamh Fahey, the Liverpool captain, gets there. Clears the ball away. It's picked up by the Ireland striker, Ciara Carusa. You wonder if we will see Amber Barrett at some point, their heroine in the playoff final against Scotland, to reach this World Cup, their first major tournament. Because they need something, Ireland. But that's the challenge for Vera Pauw's side. If they open up, Australia can pick them off at the back. Even an Australia without Sam Kerr, as we're seeing this evening, can find a way to hurt you. But it's credit to Ireland that they held them at bay for so long. And it is only a penalty that separates the sides, scored by Australia's captain on the night, Arsenal's Steph Catley, as free kick goes the way of Australia. And we are about to see 2 changes for Ireland. Abby Larkin and Lucy Quinn are coming on. And the first player to make way is Sinead Farrelly, who hasn't really managed to get into the game, Karen.
No, she really hasn't. In general, I think a lot of the wing play down this right has really been ineffective. We've seen a majority of it, obviously, down the left side with Katie McCabe. But yeah, this is certainly you'd like to hope that this will be an impetus for some momentum for the Irish.
Well, they haven't made the changes yet. They're right there and ready. Vera Pauw, the Ireland manager's got her arm in the air, and the 4th official has held up her yellow and red checkered flag. And now the changes will be made. So that first change, we'll see Abby Larkin replacing Sinead Farrelly. And here comes Lucy Quinn, who is on for Marissa Shiva. And her night's ending early and ending in disappointment, having given away that penalty for that push on Hayley Rasso. The penalty dispatched so coolly by Steph Catley. So these 2 changes for Ireland, Karen, what sort of impetus might they be able to give Vera Pauw's side?
Well, it looks like initially we're going to see some more numbers in the midfield, hopefully. I mean, Lucy Quinn will be able to get about the pitch a lot. You know, she'll add some enthusiasm in terms of the pressure. She's taken up at that left side position, just next to Carusa as well. So it looks like we're going to see a bit more protection through the midfield and trying to force the Australians to go a bit wider and be more predictable.
Yeah, she's an experienced player, Lucy Quinn, as Australia have the ball midway through their own half. She plays with Birmingham, who were runners-up in the Women's Championship this season. Actually, was very involved in the opener when Ireland beat Australia in that friendly in Dublin a couple of years ago. It was her set piece that bounced off the post, bounced off Mackenzie Arnold and went in for an own goal. She tried her best to claim it, Lucy Quinn. Unfortunately, was not to be hers. Abby Larkin, 18 at the other end of the scale, is impressed with Shamrock Rovers in Ireland this season. 4 goals and 12 appearances. What a stage to make your World Cup bow in, as all of these Ireland players are doing here at Stadium Australia. Crowd of around 80,000, sold out. Most of them, although the Ireland fans are here in their numbers, but most of them supporting the green and gold and sporting the green and gold of Australia, who are coming down the right-hand side once again, leading by a goal to nil. Ireland back in their defensive shape. Lucy Quinn, who's just come on, just closing down. Katrina Gorry, who's forced all the way back to Alana Kennedy, put under pressure herself by Ciara Carusa. So all the way back to Mackenzie Arnold. Coverage of the Ashes continuing over on 5 Sports Extra. And we'll have regular updates for you here on the Open Golf as well. A huge day of sport here on 5 Live, leading into a huge weekend and a huge month for us all across so many sports, so much sporting action for you here on 5 Live as the ball bounces through all the way to Courtney Brosnan, who did claim that just inside her penalty area, but Karen, I think the operative word is just.
Yeah, only just. That was very, very close.
So Australia in possession, pick up the ball on the halfway line, and here goes Katrina Gorry trying to slide the ball through to Caitlin Ford, who almost trapped it just outside the penalty area. Almost, but not quite.
Yeah, it's really interesting at the minute. I think at times, like, Ireland are looking like they're just perfectly happy to sit almost in a block of 6 and just really just try to absorb the pressure and try to get something back in terms of distance, in terms of position on the pitch. But Australia just find themselves in incredibly comfortable possession and not really threatened at all. So, yeah, I don't know. Is Ireland happy to just kind of sit, down 1-0? I don't know. That I wouldn't be happy personally with that sort of approach.
Well, we're midway through the second half, and it's noticeable as well, isn't it? Australia have really slowed the tempo down, and it reminds me a little bit if we go back to last summer. And I'll tell you what, here's the definitive first Mexican wave of the evening here in Australia, going rounds.
You can just hear it, like the decibel level is completely dropped in the stadium. So, yeah, we just need to inject a bit more of energy, I think, into this game.
But as Ireland win the throw just inside their own half, it does remind me of the opener at Old Trafford that England played in the European Championships, where they beat Austria by 1-0. And there was a lot of chat, not necessarily from all of us, but from some sections of the media after that game, and some of the fans basically saying, it wasn't a great performance. And it is a case, isn't it, sometimes of just job done.
Exactly.
Your co-hosts, you've seen New Zealand pull off an amazing result against Norway. They were real underdogs in that match. The other co-host, New Zealand, they managed to win at Eden Park by 1-0, missed a penalty as well. First one at the World Cup, but maybe Australia will take it up a gear. Shot driven from distance, deflected behind. It will be on Australia corner, and that's better from Katrina Gorry.
That's right. That's what we're used to seeing, is her picking up the ball and progressing it forward to the edge of the area. Still not, the quality that we're used to seeing in terms of her getting the ball on target, and the quality and the execution of her passes still isn't quite there at the minute. But, to your earlier point, the job just needs to get done, doesn't it? And so far, so good for Australia.
Well, she has scored 17 goals for Australia, Katrina Gorry. And that was more like it. It's been a bit of an up and down performance from the midfielder, and that was improved as the Mexican wave works its way behind Steph Catley, captain on the night in the absence of the injured Sam Kerr. Scorer from the penalty spot, her goal the difference. She takes the corner, swings it into the 6-yard box, and the header was flicked across by Caitlin Ford, and no one can reach it at the far post, and it's behind for an Ireland goal kick.
Oh, it's a lovely teasing delivery. Oh, and just a glancing header, just going wide of the post.
Early ball forward from Ireland. Heather Payne looking for the run of Carusa. It's cleared away by Mackenzie Arnold. Safety first, out of play for an Ireland throw, and Vera Powell throws it quickly to Denise O'Sullivan. And here now is the tempo change from Ireland.
Yeah, you can certainly, hear the enthusiasm now again from the crowd. I think the Mexican wave might have something to do with it, but you can definitely tell. I don't know, there's just been like a bit of an epiphany that this game is on the line, I think, from this Irish side.
Out to the right-hand side go Ireland. Heather Payne swings the ball into the penalty area, cleared away by Alana Kennedy, helped on by Rasso. McKay picks it up, 25 yards out. We've seen her score some stunners from there, but she plays it out to the left-hand side instead. And Ireland will now swing the ball into the penalty area. Mackenzie Arnold's come a long way. Big punch from the West Ham number 1. Denise O'Sullivan loses out for Ireland. And here come Australia, played forward. Caitlin Ford out to the right-hand side. Dink forward now to Courtney Vine, who's looked so dangerous when she's got going down this left, but she'll stop now. She's got 2 green shirts with her, tries to skip between them, O'Sullivan and Payne, and they stand up and collect the ball, and Payne is over the halfway line. Down the right-hand side, Australia 1, Ireland 0. Here on BBC Radio 5 Live at the Women's World Cup. Payne's ball into the area is deflected. Lee Fahy's come up to try and get there, can't do so, but does enough to put off Gorry with the clearance, and the ball is out of play for an Ireland throw. And I think you're right, Karen, it has just almost seems like it suddenly clicked for Ireland, but it's also that, we've got just under a half to go, plus we'll have a lot of added time given the FIFA stipulations and the way they interpret it, as Ireland do well and win a corner.
Yeah, we're just
played by Lucy Quinn, but they have to know when to go. They can't just go hell for leather in Australia for the last 20 minutes, because one more goal and that really feels like it would seal the game for Australia. They have to pick their moment.
They do, and it looks like it's being dictated to Ireland at the minute by Australia. And I think, like, a perfect example is what we just saw there. Heather Payne down the near side here, just the lack of quality in terms of decision making and actually execution in terms of getting the ball in the box. She had Denise O'Sullivan at the edge of the area. I mean, arriving a bit late, could have gotten there a bit sooner, but it's these types of things. You're in a World Cup, like, you need to get some points on board.
Can they find a way to find an equaliser? They have a corner from this near side. The green shirts dotted around that 6-yard box, which is packed with the golden shirts of Australia. They have the short option as well, Ireland, but it's swung in. Oh, it's just cleared away off the line and cleared eventually at the second attempt by Australia. What a wicked delivery by Katie McCabe. Well, we've seen her do that before, try and catch the goalkeeper out from the corner. It was a dipping delivery, and Mackenzie Arnold right underneath it, under pressure, punches away from underneath her own crossbar.
You're absolutely right. It was a fantastic left-footed delivery right on top of Mackenzie Arnold. You could see from just the angle that I could see, she was just off the line, Mackenzie Arnold. I think she had to kind of track back really quickly onto the goal line to deal with it, and she did, fortunately, get a big fist to it and punch it away. But oof, you got to stay on top of it as a keeper, don't you?
That's more like it from set pieces from Ireland. Katie McCabe trying something a little different. Yes, they have the height in there if they go to the 6-yard box, but so do Australia. Alana Kennedy in particular, so dominant in the air. Hasn't quite been working for Ireland from the rare set pieces they've had. That was better as Australia have it just inside their own half.
I'm feeling really frustrated for Cruz because she was pressing in isolation and not really getting any sort of help from Ireland. And just getting into that mid-block for Ireland is where they seem happiest in terms of winning the ball back. But it needs to be more consistent.
Free kick to Ireland, just inside their own half. The Mexican wave is still going, the Ireland fans joining in as well. Good effort from the crowd here at Stadium Australia. Around 80,000 it holds. As Ireland come down the right-hand side, Heather Payne's ball into the area. Mackenzie Arnold had to watch it all the way, allows it to bounce because there was no green shirt near enough, and claims the ball over on that right-hand side of her penalty area. Australia 1, Ireland 0, but the tempo has stepped up from both sides.
It has. Ireland, I think, understand kind of really that they're not out of this game at all. Like, they have the opportunities, they just need to believe, and I think they have been for the majority of that first half. But yeah, in terms of build-up, in terms of possession, Australia have certainly dominated.
Ireland have won it back though. Down the left-hand side they go. Opportunity perhaps for Larkin. Good sliding challenge, makes the block, and it will be a corner. Good defending there by Katrina Gorry, the midfielder for Australia, coming back, and the 18-year-old Abby Larkin is congratulated for that run.
Yeah, it's a great ball down the line. I mean, but fantastic defending from Gorry. Really last-ditch stuff. You can just see how much this means to this Australia side. But I'm expecting a wicked delivery in here.
They really tested Mackenzie Arnold from the last corner. This time it will be Megan Connolly to take it from that left-hand side. The green shirts peppering that 6-yard box once again. Little John standing right on Arnold, who does get the punch. Once again it was dipping under the crossbar as the drive from Denise O'Sullivan on the edge of the area is over the bar, but she's done well there again, Mackenzie Arnold.
Yeah, again, lots of pressure. The ball piled right on top of her in terms of the delivery, and it's just unfortunate in terms of the quality from Denise O'Sullivan. The ball just sits really, really nicely for her at the edge of the area, but unfortunately she just skied it over the crossbar. So
first change for Australia. Emily Van Egmond will come on and replace Courtney Vine, who's been impressive down that left-hand side, Karen.
She has, she's been really, really, we've seen some intricate passing and involvement with the midfield, and with Mary Fowler threatening in behind, with Caitlin Ford threatening in behind, she's been able to find them and link up really, really nicely. So, I think she'll be happy with her day at the office.
Plays for San Diego Wave in the NWSL. Emily Van Egmond, and has one of the best how I got into football stories I think I've ever heard. Australia have a goal kick, so I've got time to tell you. She played for the first time as a kid when her twin brother had a tantrum because he didn't want to wear a certain colour of football socks. It was he who was supposed to be going to a football day as Ireland come forwards, give the ball away just outside the Australia penalty area. But they were very young, he had a tantrum, didn't want to wear the colour socks, so she went instead and she loved it. She put the socks on, it was fine for her, and now she's playing in a World Cup. for Australia as Ireland come down the right hand side. Here is Heather Payne, plays the ball behind, and it will be an Ireland corner. This without doubt, Karen, is their best spell of the game.
Yeah, certainly. I think they've really, I don't know what's just happened in terms of the penny has just dropped for Ireland. But again, Katie McCabe coming on the inside, that substitution maybe has given Ireland a bit of a lift as well.
And it will be McCabe to take this corner from the left-hand side. Last time she did this, it was a wicked delivery that was just punched away by Mackenzie Arnold. She has a short option as well, but she swings it in, and Arnold this time doesn't get there, but Australia do win the header and send the ball out to the left-hand side. Well, it will be picked up by Arusha Littlejohn for Ireland. Down to the corner flag she goes. She's being held up well. Littlejohn just trying to retain possession and wins the throw.
Yeah, unfortunate it didn't quite capitalise on that moment, but I mean, Katie McCabe coming across again to take this throw. It looks like she's going to try and stabilise the team a little bit.
Well, this is where they'd love the long throw of Megan Connolly, isn't it? They are missing a couple of big players through injury for this World Cup. Megan Campbell, of Liverpool is one of them. Megan Connolly is on the pitch. Eva Mannion as well. Manchester United half a shout for handball. Ireland have it in the penalty area. Shot is blocked, falls to Payne, blocked once more and cleared away as the Ireland fans continue to scream for a penalty. We do have VAR. They will look at it, but it's cleared all the way up to Courtney Brosnan. But again, do you know what? It's as much Ireland taking this game to Australia as it is nerves creeping in for the Matildas. You can sense it around the stadium.
Yeah, absolutely. I think, going back to your earlier point around the anxiousness around that home opener back at Old Trafford for the Lionesses last summer, the anxiety around that game just before that last goal went in, I mean, it was palpable. You could feel it in the entire stadium. But now the opportunities are coming for Ireland, but I'm wondering if it's more like the mistakes that are coming from Australia that are creating those opportunities. But regardless, unfortunately, the quality just hasn't been there in front of goal.
So the official attendance is announced 75,784. Now, it is a sellout crowd. The capacity is usually over 80,000. We did hear from FIFA that it might be around 75,000 because of various broadcast seats and commitments. They tend to change over the tournament. They never seem to quite know what they're going to need, FIFA. So it is a sellout crowd, 75,000 in here. And watching Australia at the moment labouring towards full time and hoping to hold on to this 1-0 lead. But Ireland with the ball into the penalty area, goes behind for a corner. Good driving run from Lucy Quinn, putting off the Australia back line. And Lucy Quinn and Abby Larkin have made a real difference since coming off the bench.
Absolutely. I think you can tell that Ireland are really going for it now. They're putting their numbers forward. They've taken the brakes off. It looks like they're getting loads of numbers into the box. They look so much more confident, and they've got nothing to lose.
So Katie McCabe is over once again to this near side. Again, she's got the short option with Larkin. And her set-piece delivery is so dangerous. I think she'll swing it in, and she does so. And this time, Mackenzie Arnold right there, claims the ball, goes down on her goal line, whistle's gone. And I think she might take her time here, Mackenzie Arnold, the Australia goalkeeper. 12 minutes to play, plus added time, of which there will be, we think, a significant amount. And it is still Australia 1, Ireland 0. Let's head to the Open, where we find John Murray.
Out on the course, Vicky, where I can tell you that the amateur champion Christo Lamprecht, 6'8" from South Africa, has birdied the 18th for a round of 66 and leads the Open Championship on this first morning. He's 5 under par. Former champion Stuart Sink at the other end of the age range is playing the 18th. He's 3 under, and amongst a group of players on 2 under are the local boy Matthew Jordan, who hit the first shot of this Open Championship. So he's 2 under par. And by the way, I'm watching one of the leading Australian sports people of the moment, Cameron Smith, the defending champion, who is 1 under, playing the 10th.
Thanks very much, John. He'll be happy with this scoreline, if not the way that Australia are holding on to it at the moment, because it's a little bit nervy inside Stadium Australia. And a huge day of sport continues right throughout the day and into the evening here on 5 Live. Plenty of updates from the Open Golf to come throughout the day. You can listen to coverage of the Ashes, the 4th Test, second day, over on 5 Sports Extra with Ellie and the team. And we're still not underway, and We said at the time, Karen, she's going to stay down a bit here, Mackenzie Arnold, and just take a bit of time. This looks more than I'm just taking my time to get up to my feet. This looks as though she might have fallen awkwardly or just got a little push as she claimed that ball, and she's still receiving treatment, the Australia number one.
It seemed really, really innocuous. I mean, we saw a few replays. It was just a bog standard collection from a Katie McCabe corner. It was an in-swinger. A little bit of traffic around Mackenzie Arnold, but nothing that seemed to really trouble her that much. It wasn't a clean catch, but maybe she took some impact on the way down. But yeah, she stayed down for quite a long time. I'm surprised, to be honest.
Well, the DJ clearly feels that the gap has been long enough because he started the music up.
Let's get it started, right?
I don't know if I've heard that during a football match.
What's he trying to say?
Let's head to the cricket, Ellie Oldroyd.
A little bit of a nervy start for England, but they've reached 44 for one. They lost Ben Duckett early on, caught behind off the bowling of Mitchell Starc for one. But Zach Crawley, Moeen Ali are playing sensibly, not chanceless though. Zach Crawley edging just short of Warner at slip a little bit earlier on off Starc. But Crawley's on 20. Moeen Ali's also on 20, coming in this unfamiliar position at number 3. He's just 3 runs short of reaching 3,000 runs in Test cricket, so that will be a milestone for him. But England having bowled Australia out for 317 earlier, of 44 for one.
Here come Australia into the penalty area. Gorry's effort is blocked, and Ireland will clear away, and they'll break over the halfway line with Lucy Quinn. That could be a huge moment in this game. Infield goes Quinn. There's space here for Ireland as they look to play it out to the right-hand side, but the final ball is poor. Carusa can't reach it, and Australia will clear away. Well, end to end there, Karen Bardsley. Ireland almost caught out at one end and then failing to punish Australia at the other. And here come Australia once more. Down the right-hand side they go. Ireland looking to get back into shape. Caitlin Ford takes a touch inside the area, turns, blocked again brilliantly by Louise Quinn. Australia still coming into the area with Cooney Cross. Her effort is blocked. Brought down by the substitute Van Egmond, but she loses out to her fellow number 10, Denise O'Sullivan. And Ireland will come forward now over the halfway line with Lucy Quinn once more, and all of a sudden it's end to end once more into the final 8 minutes plus added time. It is still Australia 1, Ireland 0, but Ireland have won another corner. Can they make one of these set pieces count?
That's more like it. That's what we want to see. I mean, transition from end to end stuff, really great last ditch defending again, but some fantastic play from Australia down that far side, the cutbacks to the edge of the area, the blocks. Like, this is this is great stuff. I just wonder where it's been for the last 80 minutes essentially.
Well, Mackenzie Arnold, incidentally, we should tell you, is back up to her feet, watching that Australia attack, and now having to defend once more. No short option this time. Katie McCabe will swing it into that crowded 6-yard box. Australia make first contact, clear the ball away. Rasa will help it on the edge of the area. Comes out to the 18-year-old Irish forward Abby Larkin. Out to the right-hand side, and Katie McCabe, the captain. Wicked delivery, headed away once more by Australia. Rasso gets there once again. Larkin is there, plays it forward. Louise Quinn has stayed up the tall centre half. Plays it to Lucy Quinn, out to the left-hand side. Ireland go. Lovely little 1-2. Ball into the penalty area. High leaping delivery. It's over the bar, and Mackenzie Arnold just reaches to the top of her crossbar and hangs off it for a moment and watches that delivery by little John Over.
It's really frustrating because you are seeing some really intricate play, getting some overloads, on the outside channel. Again, to your point, 2v1s. We're seeing these little triangles emerge. That it's just a little bit too late. And again, the final quality just wasn't quite there.
So another change for Australia. And Claire Polkinghorne will enter the field of play. She is replacing Mary Fowler. How would you assess Fowler's contribution? I mean, she's in for the injured Sam Kerr, who's missing the first 2 group games if you're just joining us with a calf injury. First 2 at least. And a huge blow for Australia. She's been in brilliant form. How would you assess her impact on the match?
Yeah, I would say it's been glimpses, probably not as much as we would expect from someone like Mary Fowler, but she is, again, a very young player. We saw her kind of drift off to the left a bit more and then come a bit more central. She dropped a bit deep to try and get on the ball and then find the attackers in behind for that transitional threat. And yeah, it's just not quite come off for Mary today.
No, I would agree with that. She's got plenty of time to make a mark at this tournament if Australia can progress to the knockout stages, and this will be the start they wanted in terms of results, if not quite performances. The ball is into the Ireland penalty area, cleared away by Ireland. And Katie McCabe, the captain, up towards Carusa. And Australia make the interception. And they've won it once more. Poke forward to Hayley Raso. Raso looking to feed it out to the right-hand side, intercepted by Littlejohn, but the offside flag is up. Free kick to Ireland, Karen Barsley.
Yeah, again, Katie McCabe standing up, Hayley Raso on the ground. It's just been one of those days, I think, for these two. They've been really just going at it. But yeah, the game, again, is growing in momentum. Ireland are putting some really, really nice stuff together in terms of their transitions, in terms of their connections on the pitch. But they really need to be careful here in terms of, giving away these set pieces again, and just unnecessarily so.
Yes, we thought it was an offside, but it is actually a free kick to Australia. So Ireland getting back into their defensive line. They have to hold firm here. 4 minutes plus added time to play. They're making a change. Always a interesting talking point, isn't it? If you make a change in a defensive set piece. And I think that's exactly what's been said there by the Irish substitute, Izzy Atkinson. She said to the fourth official, no, actually, hang on a minute. Let's just wait. It will be Kira Caruso who's coming off, but Australia preparing to take this free kick. Central position, midway through the Republic of Ireland half. Can they find the second goal that surely would seal the 3 points in their opener? Catley's ball into the area, headed away by the 6-foot figure of Louise Quinn, out to the right-hand side. The ball goes and Hayley Raso will pick it up. Delivery in is just over the head of Caitlin Ford, who went for that flicked header again. Can't make it, and it's a goal kick to Ireland.
Sneaky from Caitlin Ford to just kind of sit in between off the shoulders of the central defenders as well. But yeah, again, I feel like Ireland have dodged a little bit of a bullet there, but you have to be fair, I think the defending has been resolute in terms of their aerial battles, their 1v1 duels in the back line. They've been very, very good tonight, I think.
So now that change is made. Izzy Atkinson of West Ham is on, and Kyra Carusa makes way. So an attacking change for Ireland. Incidentally, that change, Polkinghorne for Fowler for Australia, very much a defensive change. Polkinghorne, Australian legend in a defensive sense, the centre half, as Hayley Raso wins the ball left-hand side. They're attacking once more the Ireland penalty area, but happy enough with Van Egmond to go back. Australia, they lead by a goal to nil. 90 seconds plus added time to play. But as we say, given FIFA's interpretation of being very strict on stoppages, we think, as we saw at the Men's World Cup earlier in this season, we will have a significant amount, perhaps hope for Ireland, but they've got to get hold of the ball. Headed away for Ireland by Heather Payne up towards halfway. Ellie Carpenter sends it forward once more. Hayley Raso will play it forward again for Australia, intercepted by Megan Connolly. Cleared away at the back by Ireland, Karen Bardsley.
Again, just really poor quality in terms of the decision making, or whether to go in behind the Australian defence or whether to play in front. It's just a little bit of a disconnect, and in like pretty large spaces are starting to emerge in between the Irish lines, making it difficult to win those second balls.
They're in possession with Denise O'Sullivan out to the right hand side, and 18-year-old Abby Larkin. Can Ireland fashion a chance in these closing minutes? Larkin's ball in is too close to Mackenzie Arnold, and you can hear the relief around Stadium Australia as she claims that, and she has dealt with deliveries very well. That was straightforward, but some of the ones from set pieces haven't been.
Yeah, no, exactly. I think the Katie McCabe corner, where Mackenzie Arnold just got caught off the line a little bit and had to kind of backpedal quickly to deal with it, was the only time I've seen her really get caught out. But it's been fairly straightforward from Mackenzie Arnold tonight. The Irish haven't really tested her a whole lot.
Ball is cleared forward by Ireland once more. Here is Katie McCabe, the captain, trying to get forward and win possession. They need her up there, Ireland, they know that, and she's getting forward now as Australia clear away. Ireland send the ball forward once again. Lucy Quinn down right on the edge of the area, wins the free kick. Heavy challenge. Now, we know Katie McCabe can score from these sort of set pieces, and it's getting into now or never time for Ireland. 30 seconds of normal time to play. This is a fabulous opportunity. It's right in the middle of the left-hand side of the penalty area and the left-hand edge of that D. just outside the box. It's one of those, is it almost just slightly too close to the penalty area? Or do Ireland trust that Katie McCabe has the whip required to get over that golden wall?
Oh, it's a difficult angle, and I think, to be honest, this is definitely more in Mackenzie Arnold's favour in the Australian goal. I mean, it's a decent sized wall. It's you know, in terms of the distance away from the goal, so it's going to protect that near post, and it's going to require some excellent execution from Katie McCabe if she is going to strike it.
Well, Little John is there as well. 6 minutes of added time, so they'll certainly have time to take this.
It's the fine details you see there from Alana Kennedy asking the girls to get on their toes. It's, you know, they want to cover as much space as possible. Mackenzie Arnold looks really pretty comfortable, could rotate the shoulders a little bit more towards the goal.
So Connolly is there as well. It will be Connolly who strikes it, and it's just over the top of the bar. They're screaming for a handball, Ireland. Well, huge potential drama here. The ball's gone out of play for a corner, and the referee, I think, is saying she's given the corner, but VAR, well, surely they'll have a look at this. There were huge shouts from the Irish players for a handball. Of course you're going to appeal for everything at this stage. The referee isn't telling them to wait. The corner will be taken. It will just be a corner for Ireland, and Mackenzie Arnold, just about deals with it. Again, right underneath the crossbar. She's being slapped on the back by her teammates because at the moment she's keeping a side in it. Such dangerous deliveries from Ireland. They've got another corner. This time it's the right-hand side. As the Irish flags around this stadium start to wave, they believe they're not out of this yet. Can they find the equaliser against Australia? It's another deep corner. It's to the far post. It's headed back across goal, and this time it will go out of play for an Australia goal kick. But Mackenzie Arnold, take a bow. This was the appeal for Republic of Ireland. Well, they're claiming for the corner, in fact, as we see the replay, and that's exactly what they got. There was no penalty shout in there at all. But they did get the corner, but Mackenzie Arnold dealt with it once more. What a fabulous save that is. Former England goalkeeper Karen Bardsley, talk us through that.
Absolutely crucial. Big, giant left hand emerging from the crowd just above the crossbar to parry that on beyond the far post for Mackenzie Arnold. Really, really great effort. Came up absolutely clutch.
4 minutes of added time to play now. Ireland have won a free kick just outside the centre circle. Katie McCabe's gone down. Initially she was holding her face, then she decided to hold her ankle. I don't think there's going to be any further punishment there for Australia. It was Katrina Gorry. It's one of those McCabe again. It's part of her game, isn't it? Every trick in the book. As she plays the ball into the area from the free kick, headed away once more by Australia. Driven high and driven over on the edge of the area by Abby Larkin for Ireland. And again, Mackenzie Arnold, I feel, will take her time retrieving this ball because, to Ireland's credit, Australia are hanging on a bit here.
Yeah, they are. I think every time the ball goes over the crossbar out for a goal kick, you can feel the relief in the ground. But I think this is speaking to a little bit of the inexperience in this Ireland side about snatching at opportunities. You know, if the ball is kind of coming your way and you're not lining yourself up necessarily right, it's like take your touch, recirculate. You know, find the right opportunities, the high percentage opportunities for you instead of just snatching it and flying over the bar.
Well, that's it. We've just seen the stat in terms of shots on goal. They've had 7 to Australia's 13, but no shots on target for Ireland. And to be fair, credit goes to Mackenzie Arnold for dealing with the deliveries, but that's it, isn't it? The shots often have been from range and flown over the bar. As Courtney Brosnan, the Ireland goalkeeper, picks up the ball on the edge of her penalty area. 1 minute and 10 seconds of added time to play. Australia 1, Ireland 0 here at the Women's World Cup in Sydney on 5 Live. Ireland making their major tournament debut. Is this first match, this historic occasion, going to end in defeat to the co-hosts, who are without Sam Kerr, but they found a way from the spot through Steph Catley, but they have not had it all their own way. The girls in green have acquitted themselves well. Is there to be a final flourish? Ireland have the ball on halfway. Played up towards the edge of the penalty area. Cleared away by Australia. Hayley Rasso won't latch onto it, and Ireland have it once more. Australia have a player down on the edge of their own penalty area. Ireland play on. Heather Payne's ball to the edge of the box, headed forward. Lucy Quinn goes down. Fair challenge, says the referee. It's through with the Australia goalkeeper Mackenzie Arnold, and now the referee does stop play to see whether Steph Catley requires treatment. She's down just inside the Australia penalty area, and time is ticking away for Vera Pauw's Ireland.
Yeah, it really is. You can feel the pressure. I mean, Australia are, maintaining the authority, I suppose you could say, in this game, but Ireland are certainly pressing. And this might be one of those opportunities as well for them to for Australia to regroup and just kind of see this game out.
Well, she's up to her feet, Catley. And Australia are seconds away from celebrating victory in their opening Women's World Cup match in Sydney. Our Brazilian referee Adina Alves leaves the ball for Mackenzie Arnold, the Australia number 1. She's been closed down, as Ireland have to do with Katie McCabe, but time is up. How many more seconds will our referee allow to be played? She's telling Mackenzie Arnold to get on with it. Mackenzie Arnold saying Katie McCabe's not far enough away. He doesn't want to get a silly yellow card here as McCabe does close the ball down. Karen Bardsley, Goalkeepers Union, is almost up on her feet.
You can't do that.
Trying to play the ball forward, and there's a miscue, and could that prove controversial? Abby Larkin plays the ball into the area. McCabe trying to get the shot away. Mackenzie Arnold saves. Larkin is there again. Cleared away by Alana Kennedy. Throw to Ireland. That was the chance to snatch the equaliser. And how controversial might that clearance have been had Ireland scored the equaliser, essentially from winning the ball back from that play.
Oh, and it fell right to Katie McCabe's feet.
Ball into the area from Ireland, and the header is wide on the edge of the 6-yard box. We said that was the chance. There was the second chance. Louise Quinn, all 6 foot of her, made contact, but under pressure flicked the header wide. Oh, they've had their chances in the closing stages, Ireland, but they haven't been able to take them against Australia.
Oh, I can't believe it. This is just so painful to watch. The opportunities just keep coming and coming for Ireland. It's a great ball in again from Katie McCabe, whipped into the head of Quinn, and just cannot seem to direct it onto target.
So Mackenzie Arnold this time launches over the halfway line, and this time the referee blows her whistle. Victory for Australia, the co-hosts in their opening Women's World Cup match, and for Ireland, their debut at a major tournament ends in defeat. It finishes in Sydney thanks to Steph Catley's penalty. Australia 1, the Republic of Ireland 0. Karen Bardsley.
Wow, I mean, it certainly was a game that, we saw a lot of transition throughout, saw a lot of possession and dominance from Australia. We saw, some questions of confidence from Ireland, but they grew back into the game. They certainly created loads of chances to score, but just couldn't get that crucial ball in the back of the net. Really struggled to get the shots on target.
And Marissa Shiva is in tears down there, wiping them away. She is the Ireland player who gave away that penalty, the push on Hayley Raso, and in the end, the only goal, the difference, the penalty from the spot from Steph Catley, and they did it without Sam Kerr. That will be a boost to Australia. It very much feels like job done, on to the next one. But what positives can Ireland take from this performance as they head into those games with Canada and Nigeria?
Yeah, I mean, they've just taken the host to the end of it, you know what I mean? They've put up a great fight. They've matched them physically. They've gotten all up and down the pitch in terms of getting pressure on. They've created opportunities. Now, they're just getting another opportunity against the likes of Nigeria and the likes of Canada. So they're still in this.
So England with keen eyes on this group. Remember, the winners of this group play the runners-up in England's group and vice versa. But it's joy around Stadium Australia for fans of the Matildas. It finishes here in Sydney at the Women's World Cup. Australia 1, Ireland 0.
Say, Karen, is joy, yes, but also relief, given how Ireland knocked on the door at the end.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, you should have seen the bench pile onto the pitch after the final whistle went, and everyone was just kind of celebrating and so, just full of excitement. But yeah, I think relief is certainly a good way for it. I mean, it was tense the last few moments there.
Vicky, Karen, thank you very much. And don't forget, we have England-Haiti on Saturday morning. Juliet Ferrington and the team on air from 10 o'clock. and it is a 10:30 kickoff.